Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Any Given Sunday. Uh, I am on later than expected, but hey, you know what? I couldn't miss 2 nights in a row. I mean, but here's one thing I want all y'all to remember, and that is the importance of family and how we go on and on and on and on and on and on about how devastated the black family is. Um, I'm here to tell you that as far as my family goes and the families of the people that I associate with, and just even people I grew up with, that right there, that really doesn't exist in my world. It doesn't, with the exception of a couple of people, because I'm not claiming perfection. But we in my neck of the woods, we value the family dynamic. Yeah, we value being able to, uh, uh, you know, make love to the women that we love and uh, take care of our children and put smiles on their faces, and just try to accomplish some kind of semblance of happiness and community. you know, because, when we deal with a strong family dynamic, and I'm not talking about marriage, I'm talking about a family, family, can extend past your immediate family. Like, it can extend past uh, your husband or wife, your children. We're talking about grandmothers, aunties, grandfathers, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews. We understand. We understand, and not saying all families are perfect, but for the most part, I've been exposed to family environments, and that's a plural, family environments that were stable and that were happy, meaning that the married couples in the family loved each other. They did what was best for their children, and we got together quite often, like family reunions, barbecues, and sometimes going to hang out in that world where other people are. That's what we're talking about. So it seems like for some reason that doesn't translate well to the internet streets. That doesn't translate well to places, especially places like Facebook, because you would swear that the whole black community is in fucking shambles if the internet and all your little social media, your little Facebook and your little Twitter, all these social media platforms, if those were a reflection of real life, I think we'll be screwed up out here. I think we would. I think we will be messed up. I think that it will be horrible. I think it will be something that we couldn't live very long. I mean, yeah, there are some places, like there are some things about us on this outside reality based world that, yeah, we do need to work on. And yeah, it's a lot of caution that, we have to approach it with, because there are things that are tearing us apart, because this little social media war of ideas that you guys like to call a gender war is kind of spilling over to the real world. It kind of is. I mean, let me put you like this. Okay, it's different levels to this shit. Man, I'm gonna talk about a couple levels. I'm gonna talk about your regular, person, the observer. The observer can be anyone that just, I guess, make posts or comment, like just type in post on Facebook. Type tweets or whatever, respond, be in the comment section. You know, Even YouTube channels be in the comment section. People in the chats. who participate, people who give you views, thumbs up, you thumbs down, we put we put mostly all those people in the box. Like the ones below them are lurkers. So let's just get that straight. Then you have the post, like the content creator. I mean, I can't really call a tweet or a Facebook post a creation of content. When it comes to YouTube, whether you do these streams or whether you're doing edited videos, you can call this content, what we do right here. And they have a special word for people who decide to create content. It's like, and this probably applies. Shout out to Southeast Dusty. What's going on? This probably applies to like the really large content creators who have a huge amount of reach. And what that word that they use for those guys are influencers. Influencers, yes. What you're doing is, if your reach is great enough and you have that potent of a message, you are considered an influencer. Okay. Yeah, I'll be getting to the point in just a second, and the reason for the title of this stream, because I'm kind of doing that right now. So read the bottom of your screen, because this one's going to get a little dicey for me. Because personally, I do believe this, and this is something that I'm going to start pushing. I am going to start pushing that black men bashing black women is not a real issue. Never has been, actually. And the one thing that a lot of you need to admit out there is that this is a back and forth of ideas. And I mean, the ideas are, who gets the blame for causing all of this destruction and all of this chaos that we say that is very prevalent and exists in our community. The idea is that what gender gets more of the blame? Is that gender going to be black men, or is the gender going to be black women? That's why people call it a gender war, because you got the sisterhood and then you got the brothers, And let me tell you something, and let me just put it to you like this. If you was going to put it in terms of gender, I would have to say that the sisterhood is far more united than black men. And that is a lot of reasons. And here's one that I like to put at the top of some of the list. A lot of these dudes, probably a large majority of men that are in these spaces, a lot of these men just want control of pussy. Yes, it's a battle for the heart and soul of the all powerful vagina. And the men we're very splintered. Like, you have all kinds of archetypes. You got simp archetypes. Basically, yeah, and those guys make me sick to no goddamn end. I might do a special broadcast, because I missed last night. Just addressing guys such as Dr. Boyce Watkins and Dwayne Wade. Oh my God, Dwayne Wade. I mean, look, and I'm gonna put you all like this. What do you like this? I don't knock the success of brothers. I don't. If you are successful, you have made lots and lots and lots of money, I do not knock your hustle. I do not knock your hustle. But I can disagree with something, especially if you make it public. A lot of people are like, "Oh, why is everybody in their business? They can do what they want to do." I mean, well, they made it public, so it's now in the court of public opinion. But tomorrow night or Tuesday, I'm going to do impromptu. Well, you can't really call it impromptu if you're saying you blah, 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 blah. Well, anyway. Yeah. I'm not suggesting that brothers get together, that brothers unite, that all brothers got to agree. Like, like the sisters do. Because if we do that, uh, then we'll be no better than the sisterhood. I mean, we'll be passing off shit that brothers do, and just like if brothers were killing sisters and stuff. I mean, if we were anything like the sisterhood, the first thing that we would say is, "Oh man, maybe the dude he suffered from mental illness." Yeah, we had more mental illness treatment in the community than we wouldn't have brothers doing this stuff, and that's it, and that's all. And I'm not gonna say anything bad about it. No, we don't do that as brothers. We don't. We don't. And I mean, like, again, I'm not. I'm gonna say this because you always got to throw in disclaimers for the slow people. I am not denying the existence of weirdos. I am not. I am not denying the existence of weirdos. I'm not. I just don't think they represent the majority. And the weirdos, the way a lot of you talk about the weirdos, we ostracize them niggas. Like, you go over there in weirdo land hating black women all you want. We know those guys exist, but here's what you guys, like us as a people, have a tendency to do. We want to box in and paint the majority of brothers with that same brush as the weirdos. Because here's one thing that a lot of brothers, like including free thinking, critical thinking brothers and weirdos, have in common. And yeah, there is a commonality that we disagree with the sisterhood, a lot of the philosophies that they carry. And one thing that I'm saying that I disagree with, that is really the theme of this broadcast, is that I disagree that black men are just out here all day, every day, bashing black women. And I think it's so little of a problem if there is a brother out there bashing black women, then it has to be something done on an individual case by case basis. Let's do something to solve that problem, nip that problem in the bud. Because I mean, with dudes who really do that, by definition, they're holding shit up. No, you shouldn't be dissing your sisters. You shouldn't be dissing your sisters for, just about any and everything. You shouldn't be doing that. But when it comes to accountability, now that's a different beast right there altogether. That's a different beast. And one thing I do find common in the majority of sisters, especially the ones that frequent social media, there is little to no accountability. Now, should you be accountable for what every sister does? No, you shouldn't be. That's why I feel like it's better and more efficient to be on a case by case basis with people. Instead of saying black women ain't shit, you should say LaQuisha Jackson ain't shit, Instead of saying black men ain't shit, you should say Pookie Jenkins ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? But see, here's where all the confusion happens. Excuse me. Here's where all the confusion happens. The people who co-sign with the horrible behavior, the people who co-sign with it, the people who will pass it off, the people who will say, "Hey, you know what? Let's point the finger elsewhere." That's where the problem comes in. And you will find that a lot of people co-sign with the dumb shit, male and female alike. And what we do here, in the habitual line stepper camp, at least, we discuss the problem. We critically analyze the problem. If a specific gender is implicated in whatever the problem is, tough fucking titty if it hurts your feelings. All I ask you to do, and I mean, like, I'm not asking you to agree with me 100% because then I will consider you a weirdo. I mean, hey, thanks for the praise, but come on, man, no one can possibly 100% agree with everything that I say, and and for real, some of you out there, content creators, very local to this space, really act like and pretend like everyone is supposed to just agree with you. Because here's like my man Gerald. He came to the show the other night. Good brother. Uh just just a very well knowledge person, you know. Sometimes I think dude can be all over the place sometimes, but at other times he be dropping some real deal fucking knowledge. Real deal knowledge. And he said the other day that the habitual line steppers, in particular myself, Roger, Donnie, you know, Breakdown, Darth Skater, I always look at the habitual line steppers as all five. He said that we allow people to actually speak their minds. And, we're the first one to really do panels. And I was sitting up there at first, I was like, and I said this during the broadcast. I was like, well, other folks do panels, man. I can't exactly, go along with that. But then I really started to really just, I don't know, I guess after a couple shots last night, I just kind of referring back to the show I did Friday night, I finally understood what he meant. Because when I watch other panels, sometimes other hosts, I mean, wow, it's like some hosts be like, okay, it's cool, we agree to disagree. But for the most part, the fucking host flips out on the people. You can't do that. If someone on your panel has a slight disagreement, you don't tear them apart. You don't kick them off your panel. You don't try to humiliate that person. You don't. And I mean, like, I understand that a lot of black YouTubers local to this space say that beef start from panels, and people need to start thinking past panels. And I do understand that's the reason why a lot of bigger content creators don't do panels, because of that kind of thing. But one thing that for me and for the habitual line steppers is we do allow dissenting opinions on our panels. Yeah, because see, here's the thing about panels. You got to understand that there's this one word that is prevalent to all the panels that we have throughout all these channels. That one word is, it's a discussion. It should not be a praise fest, because I've seen those praise fests and they don't look very good. But that's my opinion. And it's like, and then for the person that is trying to ask for all this praise and thanks and adulation, they do it, they expect this out of entitlement, not because they actually earned it. Hell, when someone actually praises me or whatever, I don't consider it praise, because praise, it presents a delusion of grandeur. Like, you don't have to praise a human being. You can agree with them, you can give them their props, but you don't have to praise a human being. Like, a lot of people feel like that. A lot of people are praising KS. More power to them. But a lot of you motherfuckers out here, especially some of you sack chasing sisterhood members, y'all are just upset because number one, you're not receiving that praise. And when I say include the sisterhood, don't think I'm excluding like some of these old F boys out here who love to shit on dudes. And I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna get to that in just a second, about how it's becoming a trend to shit on black men in particular. And don't act like that shit don't exist, because that's probably, like, I'm gonna start probably having this scorched earth policy about that, about dudes who sit up there and try to deny it, or dudes who sit there and act like, oh, okay, well, I don't like none affect me. Shit, I'm Colossus. My skin is steel. Look at my steel chest. You're a cockroach, motherfucker. You know why? Don't think that when they calling you roaches and dusties that don't include you just because you're kissing ass. Oh man, stop bashing our sisters. The shit doesn't exist. It doesn't. So so stop being silly and allow a dissenting opinion for once. Don't you're upset that it comes from a guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's how this world is. 7+ billion people on this planet probably would agree. No, no, they wouldn't, because see, that's why we're here. I mean, everybody wants their own opinion, and everybody wants their opinion respected, or at least they should. But anyway, here's the topic. Here's the topic. As you see it scrolling down across the bottom of the screen, and this is Any Given Sunday, and the topic is black men bashing black women is not a real issue. And I remind you to like the video or dislike if you want to, share, subscribe. Man, the Cash App is down there if you want to, throw some in the collection plate. And fair use is always in place, and I use harsh language here. I mean, I was born in the mid 70s, 76 to be exact, and I grew up in the 80s, in the profane 80s. Like, for real, if the 2021 internet mindset was exposed to the 80s climate, like, them motherfuckers would go motherfucking crazy. Cause I mean, like, we like R-rated movies were R-rated. And a lot of things and a lot of bullshit that we're sensitive about, and a lot of bullshit that we get mad and fight about today, we didn't really argue about this shit back then. And I'm gonna give you an example. In the 80s, everybody made fun of hair weave, men and women alike. I mean, hair weave was just unacceptable. And women, what black women did back then was took care of they took care of the goddamn hair. It wasn't that hard. Now you see women fighting for weave. I mean, crusading too. Like, what the hell is going on with that shit? You crusading for fake hair? Shit, I wish you had as much passion as crusading for your sons as you do fake hair. Shit. But you some of you ladies out there that defend that shit, y'all would have hated coming up in the 80s. You would have hated that shit. And I would have been so out. All of us, all the females and the males back then, we'd have been laughing at your head. Look at that hell weave. Shit, you even had a guy named Russ Parr who used to be like his stage name was Bobby Jimmy. He had a parody song from a group called Today. Today came out with this song called Him or Me. It was their debut song. He made a parody called Hair or Weave. Shoot, ask me how many sisters I ran across that took offense to that video. I'm gonna give you a clue. It's less than one. I give you that number. We were all laughing at that shit because the shit was unheard of. It was ghetto beyond ghetto. But see, in 2021, you ladies talk about it's a protective hairstyle. That you niggas, oh yeah, y'all love to do the little alphabet cracking on dudes too for even like having an expectation. Like, a black man can't even say he likes natural hair. Then you start calling him out of his sexuality. It's like damn, it's ridiculous. If you are a brother in this climate, you are not allowed to have standards. You're bashing them if you don't want them to wear weave. And I mean, like, I know it's not the 80s anymore. But see, when I was growing up, I thought that society would probably become a bit more desensitized. I'm not saying that it's going to descend into anarchy, but I thought it would be a bit more desensitized. Man, these motherfuckers in 2021 so fucking creamy and moist is ridiculous. Over stupid shit. Oh, he don't want me to wear hair weave. He'll like, the fuck. Why is it that like okay. And I've always said this: if you're gonna wear weave, why can't you just wear kinky hair weave? Why can't you look like a black woman? If If you care about having a natural look and all that other stuff, or it's protective style, why can't you wear a kinky hair weave? You know why? Because they don't sell kinky hair. Shoot. I mean, then all y'all want to talk about how much we self hate because we don't want y'all looking like other groups of women. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, here's what it is. Here's what it is, and what I do understand is that brothers, they do kind of like, and then that's what I'm talking about with these old simpy ass dudes and these so-called game dudes out here that's sitting up here talking about, oh man, I don't let these women get to me. Shut the fuck up. Everybody has a breaking point. Everybody has that breaking point. Shit. Oh man, but it's like, dude, the expectation for black men is always there. It's always there. I don't care who you are as a black man in this country. If you ain't take care of yours, you are going to be criticized, you are going to be attacked, and you're going to be vilified. Period. Like, but if you are a female in this day and age, you could like I said, and I was talking about, I was doing a little mental illness crack earlier. You could literally kill your kid, and a lot of these simp dudes, and maybe 95% of the sisterhood, will ignore the child being dead just to say mental illness. Now, why shouldn't critically thinking brothers think that's fucked up? Why shouldn't we? Why y'all got to go out here and lie on black men? That's a lot of the reason why I say bashing black women is not a problem. It's not a real issue. It's not a real issue. You know why it's not a real issue? Because that whole narrative is a projection. The whole narrative is a projection. It's a bullshit fucking narrative. Most black men, and I mean, like, and I'm not gonna make an Naxal fallacy like most of y'all do in these spaces. I'm not gonna do that. And the Naxal fallacy is basically you're basing your argument on something that you surely can relate to. But as far as the majority is probably not true. Or you're just doing that as a straw man. A straw man is nothing but a segue from an actual point to a talking point. Say for instance, like okay, when you tell a female or something, like, okay, it's like if you dress a certain way and you act a certain way and you allowed yourself to be exposed to certain environments, then something may happen to you. Now, notice I didn't mention anything specific. A straw man argument is, so what you doing? You're blaming a woman for her own rape? That's a straw man argument. That happens a lot in these spaces. But back to my point, for the most part, brothers love sisters. We do. We love black women. We do. Most of the guys that will have you believe that, they just want to seem like they're like the best black men in the world. Like that's I mean, and that's a fact. That's that Highlander. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, niggas want control of pussy. They want to impress pussy the most. So they're gonna go along with this prideless bullshit that they keep saying. I'm not easy about something like this. I'm not easy at all. I'm not gonna be easy about it. Because y'all say the worst shit about people. The worst shit about black men. And black men aren't supposed to respond. Or we're bashing. For a first thing, some of you motherfuckers say, man, y'all bashing these sisters. No, we're not. I mean, a couple guys are. But y'all need to name them niggas. Don't say black men when it generally isn't true. But of course, here at the Habitual Line Steppers, and getting back to that point I was making about Gerald, we do allow dissenting opinions. When there's disagreement in the conversation, it is a way for proper discourse. It does not have to result in a beef, and it definitely does not have to result in a gender war. Don't y'all love to say gender war? And let me make this quite clear. Let me make this quite clear. It's only a gender war when black men start saying stuff. Hey, we've allowed that shit to come out of sisters' mouths for years. Years upon years upon years. Some brothers got tired of it. And I mean, some brothers, they went fucking overboard. It never has to get to the point of disrespect. It never does. Never has to get to the point of disrespect. Because if you're a black man and you truly love our sisters, you'll hear them out. You hear them out. Some of these, look, I ain't gonna lie, some of these women out here you're wasting your time with. They're gone. They've flown the coop. They are out of here. Their minds are so fucked to the point where there's no reaching them. So why argue? I get that. Why argue? But I do use this as a general rule of life. You should be penalized for saying stupid shit. You should be, whether you are male or female. If you're not ready for equality, throw that fucking shit out of the fucking window. Throw all your arguments out of the window. If you're not ready for equality, just be prepared to go back to the Stone Age. And don't expect me as a black man to follow your ass, because it's not going to happen. And shit, like yeah, like I could go on and on about this, because let's be honest, folks. Let's be honest. A lot of the reason why a lot of us are on this platform, not me specifically, but I did have to name my platform Black Men Being Brutally Honest, because I named it that to make a point. I did that to make a point. We gotta assert ourselves. I forgot my other point. I probably shit. Yeah. Anyway, let me see who's in the chat. Let me see who's in the chat. Let me see who's in the chat. I see you down there, Donnie Long, lit habitual line steppers. Southeast Dusty, Chaos Rain, Nick O, Petway Boy, Silver Tongue Devil. I think that's my first time seeing you here, Silver Tongue Devil. I don't know. Maybe you've been here before. If you have been, my bad. Blacklight Revelations 2. What's going on? 1Gs. Petway Boy. What's going on? I'm listening. I already saw Dunny, but once again, the Roger Report is in this motherfucker. Long live the habitual line steppers. Marine 70. Hybrid Impact 83. I'm listening. All right, guys. Thank you, all of you. And on your way into this broadcast, please hit that like button. If it's your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And go ahead and subscribe to YS4W and the Roger Report Live. Roger actually has 3 channels because, they kept coming after him. When you have a message that is truth, understand this, black man. When you have a message that is truth, they are going to come after you. Period. And they've gone after Roger, but Roger's that motherfucker ain't gonna give up. Period. Yeah, that's a habitual line stepper to the core. Why Skinner Man Cave? What's going on? All right. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna say it again. I've said it several times already throughout this program. Black men bashing, in quote fingers, bashing black women is not a real problem. It's not a real issue. It's not gonna hurt you to hear a little criticism. Okay, yes, we will listen to whatever the issue is with black men, and thus critically thinking, smart black men with proper discernment will figure out a way to work through it with you. Yes, we will. All right, let me open this up. I understand that it is late. Shaka Nulu, what's going on? Yeah, man. Oh yeah, and uh, to all you out there, uh, uh, happy Memorial Day. Is like Memorial Day is a day that we remember all of the soldiers that have fought bravely for this country that lost their lives. So if you have a loved one who died defending this country, I just want to say for your departed loved one, thank you. I mean, however you think about it, those men and women still put their lives on the line. I mean, well, for whatever reason, whether they were trying to get the money to go to college, or trying to make a career of being a brave soldier, or for whatever reason. I mean, just I guess pour out a little bit. Just much respect, much respect. I know, and I know a lot of you out here don't have respect of any kind. I'm not talking to you fuckers. I'm talking to the people who, if you are even if you are a soldier and you lost one of your fellow soldiers, fellow Army buddy, Navy buddy, Marine buddy, Air Force, whatever, just have a great Memorial Day. Hope y'all eat a lot of good barbecue, pop some fireworks, and just enjoy yourself and appreciate appreciate life and appreciate the ones that are still here. I heard somebody say is we gotta we gotta give people their flowers while they still alive. You know what I'm saying? Life is so fragile, and I mean, to the loved ones I've lost in the past 2 years, Kevin's thinking about you. So anyway, all right, Clarissa, what's going on? All right, I'm gonna drop the link. Roger has requested the link, so we about to turn this motherfucker up. Yes, harsh language is being used in this program. I am not a candy ass pansy. I do not get offended by cursing. However, um, we respect each other here over the habitual line steppers. So, I mean, I know that. I mean, and that's saying a whole lot compared to some of these other platforms. That's saying a whole lot. It really is, and we appreciate it. We appreciate everyone who watches. But okay, so there's the link. There's the link. All right. So what do y'all think in the chat? So is this bashing thing a problem? Are brothers being way too hard on the females, and does it justify the heat that black men receive when we step on platforms and even try to be in the place to reason with sisters, or even reason with other brothers who just happen to be angry and we got a few of them that they get sent as attack dogs against other brothers who are trying to make sense of all the fuckery and the bullshit. But that is, of course, that's kind of like trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's discuss what this issue actually is, because there is an issue. There is an issue. It ain't bashing. So what up, Roger? What's going on? This is the Roger Report.
Long live, my friend. Long live. How you doing, brother?
Long live. What's going on? So, topic. What do you think of the topic? What is your point of view? What is your opening statement? And before you get into that, shout out to Anthony Drossos. What's going on? Thank you for coming by. So, Roger, take it away. Opening statement.
Man, I saw the topic and I'm like, does that exist? That's like that's really the first question that comes to mind. Who is bashing black women? Basically nobody. So yeah, that's just something that's in their head. That's something that's a a lot of women like to project things, so they bash black men. So therefore they're just projecting. That's all. You know, trying to get you to look at somebody else rather than what they're doing. Because aren't they constantly talking down on black men? Aren't they constantly saying bad things about us? Aren't they constantly trying to embarrass black men? Aren't they trying to constantly prove that black men ain't worthy of even being called a man? So who's really bashing at the end of the day? What are black men saying that's not true? You can't bash somebody if you're just talking about regular stuff and truth that happens, just observable normal behavior. That's not bashing. But I think women just use the word bash because they don't want you to actually say anything to them. But that's all it comes down to it to me. Who got time to bash black women? Who really has that type of time?
Okay, so in saying that, Roger, hey, mute your background, mute your background. I can
Oh,
hear some
yeah,
feedback.
my bad. You know what? I got you. Go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right,
This should be good.
all right. In saying all that, I would say maybe there is a little bit of that exists. That there are some bros that just decided that that they don't respect the sisters, that they gonna be mad at them forever. It almost gets to the point of a hatred now. Um, in saying that, do you believe that there are at least maybe one or two brothers that do that and that do kind of go to weirdo level?
I mean, there's always somebody amongst any group of people that ain't got they ain't got a full crayon box. But I mean, I mean, so we gonna put it off on them because I mean, when it comes to, I mean, let's be realistic. On social media, women can say all kinds of stuff about black men. I mean, basically anybody can say just about all kinds of stuff about black men. But if you start saying stuff about other people, there's a lot of protections out here. So with all these protections, who's really bashing somebody? I'm just saying, you can't just say anything you want to say on social media and your videos stay up or your comments stay up, depending upon what social media system you own. So how can you really bash if you're not really even allowed to bash? So I'm not gonna say nothing got through, but come on, if you're not allowed to do it, how could it be a problem at any kind of real level? That's
Yeah,
somebody who needs to look at.
yeah, because a lot of these platforms have rules that you cannot talk about a specific group of people, or your video get taken down, your or wherever platform you at, your posts get taken down. You may face some kind of suspension of some kind, and if it get excessive, they'll just take your platform down. They'll delete your channel. They'll delete your Facebook account. They'll delete your Twitter account if you talk about a specific group of people in a demeaning and a demoralizing way. That's why a lot of these Black Manosphere conversations remain up. You know why? Because it's factual. If you're not being factual, or is not, is it, or is not presented as a discussion with different opinions that keep certain words out, then if 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 it's factual, then you probably won't get your video taken down. But if you say stuff like, "Oh, okay, I wish them bitches I don't know, be in a plane crash or some shit like that," then that goes into a different dimension. That's not only bashing, that's wishing death, and that's a pretty sick thing to do. Don't you agree that wishing death on someone just because of an opinion is a sick thing to do, Roger?
Yeah, it is, and as far as I know, it's not allowed. So how can people be really bashing a group of people? Because yeah, if you say something specifically about, I mean, yeah, groups of people specifically are protected unless you're black. Because as I mean, unless you're a black man, because who protects black men when it comes to social media? Now, people can argue that their platforms protect black men, but I can make a good argument that it doesn't. So my thing, but when it comes to other groups of people, including black women, who really has a social media platform that allows you to bash them?
Nobody. And I can tell you from experience that, I mean, and a couple of content creators would even agree that a lot of black women they can go in as much as they want. Now, shout out to BGS Ibmore. I'm not going to mention the name of this content creator. Is obviously a black woman, but he put up a post with a screenshot of this particular female's cover photo, and the cover photo has a black man hanging from a tree. It depicts a black man hanging from a tree. And it's like, okay, you know what the game is. It's
All
like
right.
you can pretty much shit on black men all you want and say some pretty disgusting fucking things about black men. And if you are a black man rather, sorry, that says disgusting thing about other black men, you will get recognition from these same bitches.
Now, now that's interesting because I didn't even see that picture. But put up a picture where it's a clear depiction of anybody else other than the black man. See how long that stay up.
Yeah, like if I was just like let me tell you something. If I were to use a cover photo like that scene where Ike Turner raped Tina in the phone in the recording booth, yeah, I would probably be ostracized by most.
What I'm saying, if that picture would have depicted anyone else outside of a black man, if it had depicted a kid, a woman that of any color, you know, a man, any other man of any color, yeah, that ain't gonna fly, and we know that ain't gonna fly. But you say it's a black man getting hung, so I totally get why somebody was able to just find that sitting up. I get it because the dude was black and he's a man. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'm not getting you if you're talking, but just in case he's
Oh, okay, okay.
knocked out.
No, I was muted from the headset. And let me ask you a question. Let's establish a little context before I go to this little point I'm about to make. The divestment community. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's just say we're talking about the female wing of the divestment community, the ones that hope to find a Chad, a white dude. Yeah, we can say it. To find a white dude and forgive all the atrocities that their people have committed against black people, especially black men, black women, and black children, because that is an issue. You're part of the divestment community. You're mad at black men basically for not wanting to date you with your fuck up attitude, and all of a sudden you're forgiving white men for all the atrocities that they committed against black people. My okay, so we're gonna say that's the divestment community we're talking about, because a lot of people sit up there and start saying, well, what about SYSBM, all this other stuff. See, here's the thing with SYSBM. They will date a black woman, but they will date a foreign black woman. That's my understanding. So they're still not talking about white women. Like some of them will. Let's not let say if a white woman can make you happy, then go get her. We get that. But the divestment women are mostly about going to get a white man. Period. That's what it is. My question about the divestment community is, if they hate brothers so much and they want to divest from brothers, why are they still in spaces with black males?
Because they have been unable to, they haven't been able to divest. I mean, let them go. Ain't finna be no army of black men trying to stop 'em. I mean, let's just be realistic. I mean, you got some people that they refer to as like the hoteps or something. Like they might be like, no, you shouldn't date outside your race. But outside of somebody who is like that, what black man is gonna really argue for a woman to not to divest? If you can do it, do it. And black people are
More
not
power to you.
sexually, yeah, black men are not sexually threatened by white men. And then when it comes down to it, what kind of woman is going to divest? A woman that was no good for a black man anyway. So we don't lose anything when black women divest. I get it why people focus on when men divest because potentially you're losing college educated men. You're losing a man with a good job or a business. There's the black community is taking some type of loss. We got the people talking about the brain drain. But if a black woman leaves the black community, what did we lose as a community? You know,
Yeah. I don't
what
know.
I know that sounds rough, but I'm just saying from a realistic standpoint, if men are supposed to be, and this is what I'm saying, men are supposed to be leaders, protectors, and providers. So men are going to give something to the community that makes the community better. What women are going to divest? Are we going to have are we about to start losing a bunch of STEM majors to the divestment community? Are we going to lose a bunch of female doctors? Like, does the black community truly care about black women trying to divest? I don't think black men care like that. We've always been a more fair-minded people in general. So, hey, if you go get your white man, go and get your white man. Because if you want a white man, what good are you gonna do for a black man anyway?
Let me tell you a group of black, let me tell you how a black female really catches hell from the black community. And I'm not talking about interracial dating. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about them going to get a Chad. I'm not even talking about them hating on brothers because there are plenty of brothers out there that be around these broads and act like they're like the best comedians on the planet whenever they do that shit. The only way a black woman really catches hell in this community is if her political beliefs aren't aligned with the majority of the black community. Say for instance, a Candace Owens. Candace Owens has said some crazy shit,
Mm-hmm.
but if it were just black men and not black people that she was getting at and she was swirling and she didn't really share what her political beliefs were, she'll be a star in this community. She will be a
I
star.
mean, is she not a star now? I mean,
I
did she
mean, not
suffer?
I wouldn't say like there's some black people that ride with Candace Owens. Yes, there are some bigger content creators that ride with Candace Owens, but I believe the majority is calling her a coon.
Well, my thing is, now I get what you're saying. She's not a star to us, but what loss has she suffered because because of her position or her political position or anything that can be perceived as being anti-black? What has she actually lost? Because as far as I don't know anything she's lost. I'm just keeping it real. I don't know that she's lost anything. So I don't see how her. I don't see her having a problem. You see what I'm saying? I don't see her having a
No, no,
problem.
no.
you
No,
know,
I mean
and
she still catches it though. I mean she still catches it as far as like social media is concerned. And I
but
mean like for her support of like well for some of the things she said about I would say George Floyd. I mean she's caught hell for that too. But I mean for real, what does a lot of the sisterhood say about George Floyd?
well, I mean, and that's what I'm saying when it comes to her. Okay, let's say she didn't divest because I heard she does have a white husband. Let's say she's not a person who's about divesting or whatever the case is. For the stuff that she says, would she not get the same response from the black community, regardless of who she with? That's all I'm saying.
Well, they wouldn't care who she with though. You know, it's like
Exactly.
we
Nobody would care. So
no
I'm just
no
saying.
no, and that's not even they big, and that's not even people's biggest problem with her. It's
Exactly,
like
exactly. So
you rarely to never hear about who she's married to.
yeah, don't even come up.
No, it doesn't. I mean, but her political beliefs, oh, she'll cool, she'll sell out, she'll
Yeah,
blah 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 blah
but
blah.
that yeah, she's gonna get that anyway. That's all I'm saying. But
Yeah,
nobody talks about who she with because I don't see people bringing up who she with. Now and then you got it just the same way you got Robert Smith. He make a great donation, he does something to help folks and things like that, and all of a sudden people bringing up his wife. Like, the man just gave us money that's gonna help out so many people in the black community because he's paying off some guys who are graduating from Morehouse debt.
Do you know how many
That's a
young men?
really good investment.
Do you know how many young black men success he jump started with just by doing that? And
Exactly.
here's the thing that I heard that he also did. He paid off the parents' college debt.
He
So
did.
you talk about who dudes be marrying. You talk about who dudes marry, and you talk about, well, if they marry somebody else, if they marry a white woman, all that money going to that white woman, blah blah blah. Is that not him putting back into the community, giving back money to the community?
Yo,
But we focus, but
of course
investing.
he is. And my thing was like, he does such a great act like that, and then what do I hear? I hear about who his wife is. I didn't ask. The man did a great thing, and instead of celebrating the great thing that he did, people trying to tell me who his wife is. Like, I didn't ask about his wife. How about we just celebrate what he just did? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So my thing is, yeah,
Hybrid
but
Impact 83. Let me say
oh,
this real quick.
my bad.
Hybrid Impact 80. Hybrid Impact 83. Did he pay only black men debt? He paid off the parents' debt. So I would assume that the parents. I mean, unless we got some freaky stuff going on, that includes the black mothers too. you know,
What
so money still ended up going to black women though. And then, like, what about all the boys that would probably help? Ask their parents for help because they owe so much in student loans. That's no longer a problem for the boys either. So all around,
well
it was a great thing.
to my understanding, just to make it clear, to my understanding, he paid off a graduating class student loan debt, and then he extended that student loan debt to parents who also have student loan debt. So if anybody has student loan debt, whether it be a man or a woman, if it happens to be that guy's parent, they hit the lotto. So yeah, that's gonna cover some woman somewhere because one of them guys got to have a college educated mama that still owes student debt. I mean, it's not. It's. I will assume that at least one of them, because it was like 397 of them. Somebody got to have a black mama who probably was a single mama who got college debt. It had to happen somewhere. So I'm sure a woman got helped along the way. But the fact that he paid off the college debt for those black men was a great and beautiful thing. And okay, he extended it to their particular parents. So at the end of the day, it's really more for black men, which was a great thing. And all I'm saying is, while I was trying to get information on it and kind of celebrate the fact that he did that, people trying to tell me who his wife is. I don't care. He did something great. And he did something great for black men. Why are you trying to tell me who his wife is, and why should it matter? And the difference is, he's already been married to a black woman. He at least a half black woman. And he got kids already, so he got some black
Well,
kids.
you know how some of us like to use that one drop rule, but I don't believe in the one drop rule. I mean, I'll acknowledge both of your parents, or whatever lineage you would choose to acknowledge. But we got Anton Jackson, aka Bo, up here. Is his first time. Welcome, and you will be allowed to speak, and you will be respected. As long as you respect us as well. So, how you doing? Thanks for coming up. This, I understand, is, well, way it looks your first time because I've never seen you before. Well, go ahead, give me your opening statement, and
Yeah,
once again, welcome.
yeah. I've listened to the show, but I haven't. This is my first time actually calling in. But because it's a good topic, man, and it's a much needed topic because, and to the point that he just made, Robert Smith kids are from his first marriage to a black woman. The white woman is from his second marriage, which is irrelevant either way for what he did. But so many people using this gender war. I mean, and we got to be honest about what it really is. It's just on YouTube. Like these type of issues don't really I'm not gonna say that exist in real life, but we got to look at who's really feeding into it. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of people that's unhappy in their life. That's why you seen some certain people blow up during COVID. and a lot of unmarried dudes or dudes who failed in first relationships or whatever, they're gonna gravitate towards it. But the average dude that's had healthy relationships or whatever, they not listening to none of this stuff. And that goes on both sides. For women in healthy relationships, they not listening to your Cynthia G's and Chrissy's outside of just entertainment. But the scary part is that you got a lot of kids who haven't really had the experiences in life to really form their own opinions that's starting to feed into this stuff. And that's the part that's scary to know, like, what's the next generation gonna be like? Because now it's not a problem, but it's like we almost turn it into a problem.
I'm going to make this point a lot like you said that it doesn't extend past YouTube. Well, I'm going to make this point. Yes, it is, and this is speaking to something that you were saying. Yeah, it is dangerous, and yes, you do have larger influencers such as those young ladies that you just mentioned, and they are very toxic, and they do have large followings. And I mean, if and to look at some of the things that even the people in their comments say, is like, wow, if you really carry on like this outside, then where are we going to go as a people?
Okay, well, I want to say something because my thing is context does matter. So based on what he's saying, I don't know what he's talking about, and I mean this in the most polite way.
Go elaborate, brother. I respect that.
Well, first of all, I mean, I'll pull back from talking about a gender war because we're really not at war, but you got people not getting along. And if we have a black community of people where men can't even find wives, you got more than half your men that are single and childless, and we ain't had no wars or anything of recent that has created a lot of damage to black men where they're just not looking to get married or anything like that. Like, brother, it's so far beyond social media. I don't know, I don't know what you're looking at. There's clearly a problem when you have men in a country with a freedom to go and find a wife of some kind, and they're just saying, "Nah, I'm straight." That's a problem.
Well, let me add what you say, right? Just to clarify, saying right. So, because you're talking about two different issues, right? So the gender war and men being unable to find women are two different things, right? And in history,
I'm not talking about a gender war because there's really not a gender war.
Okay,
that's just a term people are using.
So I'm going to touch on the second part. So historically, in the animal kingdom, anywhere you've ever been, in any context, right? Men has always had to compete for women, and men who can't compete and can't women, they've always existed. So, I mean, now are you saying that we have a generation of dudes that don't have the social skills to go out and meet women and they're single and they're having problems?
I'm saying that there's an exact opposite. There's a bunch of men who don't want the women.
Then that's their problem. I mean, and that's their issue. If for whatever reason they're socially awkward and they don't want to deal with the women.
No, brother. The men don't want them. They're not socially awkward. The women aren't good enough for them. That's a problem.
So you're saying that there's all these, I guess you're a part of the high value man brigade, right?
No. I'm just saying from a general standpoint, do you think men just come across women that they feel are just so awesome and so great, but they just don't want to be with them?
Well, I can only speak for my life, what I see in real life on the streets. And men that are competitive, who they're not having a problem getting women.
Bro, I'm asking you, do you think men that like a woman, they see a bunch of women they like, but for whatever reason, they still just refuse to be with them? Do you see that as happening on the streets?
Okay, but the thing is that just because you like a woman, that woman has to like you back.
Okay, I understand that. The point is, if you have more than half the men who ain't married, that's telling you that they don't like the women they're seeing.
Or the women.
How do you get? How does a society where people are in voluntary relationships get to a point where you have more than half the men that aren't married, unless it has something to do with they don't like what they see.
And at the same time, we still have to take in consideration that their counterparts, the women, may not like them.
I'm not saying they do or they don't, but I'm saying what the men are doing. If the men don't like what they see, they ain't gonna marry you. That's just legitimate.
We still got to take into context what man, who are we talking about? Because all
Okay.
men aren't. What I'm saying is,
All men ain't. We know all
hold
men
on a
ain't.
second, brother. Let me
All
just
men
make
ain't the
this point
same.
right quick. Let me just
We
make
get
this
that.
one. Let me just say this one thing, right? You're making it seem as if a man is entitled to just walk out the door and have his pick of women.
I didn't
that
say
he
anything
should
about
have, right?
entitlement. I didn't make it seem that way. That's your
Okay,
perception
Roger.
that you had before you got here.
Let me get him.
Don't put your perception on me.
Yo, Roger, let me get him.
Oh, okay. We got some other folks that just came up here. We got Y Skinner, who came up here first, so we'll let him go first. Then we got Black Uru. Then we got Hybrid Impact 83. So, gentlemen, with your opening statements. Y Skinner, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on?
Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah. What's going on, man? What's going on? Yeah, I can hear you.
I looked up this bashing word thing because I do hear that. So I kind of want to just kind of get a definition of what it is, and it's saying bashing is a harsh, gratuitous, trying to say the word here, prejudicial attack on a person, group, or subject. Literally, bashing is a term meaning to hit or assault. But when it is used as a suffix or in conjunction with a noun indicating the subject being attacked, it is normally used to imply that the act is motivated by bigotry. Did y'all get that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely got that. I would think, and let me tell you something. You know who brought the term bashing to social media? And I'll let everybody else go on with their opening statement. The group that brought bashing to social media was the alphabet community, because they used to call it gay bashing. But it evolved and translated into what we see as what some would see as bashing today. So okay, you can continue. Or was that it, Y Skinner?
It says it's normally used to imply that an act is motivated by bigotry. A black man doing that?
Oh yeah, I'm about to roll this shit.
Yeah, it definitely sounds ridiculous.
I don't see it. I just see guys bringing out the truth.
I got my special avatar for this.
I don't see bigotry. I just see them bringing out the truth. And I haven't been on YouTube that long. Well, almost 2 years now, but I hadn't heard anything about a gender war or how the Gen X generation was having trouble. The men and women of Gen X having trouble with each other. I hadn't heard of it till I came to YouTube. But the first guy that I really kind of got off into was Kevin Samuels, and that's before he, blew up. But when the women started calling in, that's when I really started to see it. I'm like, these women is crazy. Because I come from a generation where we not to worry about none of this stuff. Our women was, when we got married, we married wives. They was already wives, so we didn't have to deal with anything like this. But that's when my eyes was open about, is this really true about this? What they call in ginger wall. So I'm kind of convinced with the statistics. You look at the facts, where 30% of black women are married out. You have to kind of believe that black men having trouble marrying. So that's
Well,
my thing on it.
Just for clarification, I don't think it's that 30% of black men are married out. I think it may be soon, but I know the stat that's been going
No,
on is about
that's not accurate. That's not accurate at
30%
all.
of, right. It was 30% of the college educated men are now starting to marry out.
Yeah,
So that's
like
gonna take
black.
a big
That's
turn.
not. Yeah,
Oh, you
that's
talking
not
about?
accurate.
Oh, you talking about college?
The ones
There's
in
no
the
30%
recent
of
years.
any. There is no 30% of any group of black women dating out. Like that's not accurate
No, black
at all.
men. Black men.
Oh,
No,
okay.
and
Okay.
I'm trying to clarify what the stat. The stat was that now that you have all these college educated black men, 30% of them are marrying out. That's the new
Right.
trend that's going on right now.
And they're not marrying out because they're having trouble with black women. They're marrying out because they have a standard to not deal with black women's bullshit. It's not that they can't get black women. It's that black women want to present a child to these motherfuckers. They want to be stepfathers. They want them basically to be cleanup men, and that's not a deal. And these women, and so let me say this. Because I want to be real quick about this so I can get to the other thing. So first things first.
Okay, hey, but
I'm gonna say
Ed, what's going on? First of all, what's going on, Ed? But I did say
Yeah,
Hybrid
what's up?
Impact 83 and Black Ruru, because when you get off, you
Okay,
get
then
off.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I want to give you the floor to really thoroughly explain it. so Hybrid Impact 83, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's happening?
What was the name of the guy that was in the chat that was saying individuals that are not getting married, are not really procreating, are socially awkward? He lumped the two together like there's a correlation. I don't know if you.
That would be Bo. And shout out to She.
Okay.
And hurry up
Yeah,
and buy.
That
Adam
would be me,
Williams.
brother.
Hey, she is that's it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's him.
I like him. But okay, so bro, here's the thing, man. I took that a bit. I took it like a shot, but an indirect shot, because I'll say this about me. I'm in construction, and I coach wrestling in high school, and I do really well. And my history, I've slept with a good number of women, and I know how to communicate. I know how to get in the spot and just make them interested, make them laugh, just have good conversation. But me personally, at 38 years of age, I don't plan to get married. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. The thing about it is, I look at things from a realistic lens. You got to understand, man, the numbers reflect the reality. 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Who wants to fight those odds? And on top of that, the court system is extremely gynocentric. So if a woman just terminates the relationship, there's not much you can do. If you have kids with her, you're paying child support. She's barely letting you see the kids. She's running you through the court system. So the thing about it is, a lot of guys that are not married, that 51%, a lot of guys are not married. It's not because they feel like, oh, I'm entitled to a good woman and I have to have a good woman because I'm a king. No, that's not the point. A lot of guys settle.
That's a bitch argument when people say that. But I agree with you. Go ahead.
A lot of people, a lot of guys, we settle. We take what we can get. And I'm talking about guys that are not high value men. But just because you're not a high value man doesn't mean you're not a high quality man. So, So the point I'm trying to make is, it's so much. The game is so rigged. I'm looking at it from a standpoint of the law. It is so rigged. Brothers are getting thrown out of their house because if the woman is not on his program, all she got to do is make one phone call. She gets the benefit of the doubt. All this domestic violence, DV, let me say DV, I don't want to ding the platform, but all these DV cases, a lot of times the woman is the perpetrator. She's the initiator. She's the one that starts the whole thing. And guys, a lot of guys, I've been in this situation myself before. I'm gonna tell you something. One of my friends, good dude, he was going out with a Jamaican girl, and she was too boisterous, headstrong, all that stuff. And it just could not work out because he's like, ain't gonna be two captains in one ship. So he told her she gotta leave. She left. He goes out. I come scoop him. We hit the club. We got some Becky's or whatever, we're just having fun. He takes the Becky to his crib. His ex-girl is stalking him. And next thing you know, she banging on his door and everything. And he comes and opens the door. And she's like, where's she at? Where's that girl at? And she's going crazy, knocking things down. So the white girl, the Becky, she calls 911. Meanwhile, the ex-girl is vandalizing the place and assaulting my boy, just assaulting him. And he's just doing what he can to cover up and, not take no hits because she's swinging, throwing everything and the kitchen sink at him. So he opens the door. She lunges at him. He grabs her. And he said, you got to get out. He tried to push her outside. They both fall to the ground. And she scrapes her knee on the concrete. Now her knee's bleeding. Police comes. They calm everybody down. Two of the officers were talking to her and they're talking to my boy. And my boy was explaining everything that took place. One of the officers looks at her knee and sees a little bit of blood. And they lock my guy up, man. And that he lost his job.
Yeah, that's typical.
Yeah.
And he never once laid a finger on her. All he wanted to do was grab her and get her out of the crib. She was punching him. She was swinging on him like Hagler and Hearns, man. Like she wanted to take his head off. So the reason why I say the story is that a lot of women, especially black women, they're difficult to deal with. They're very difficult to deal with. And me, I'm Nigerian. I got my own house. Every girl that I've brought in here, it's my rules. And if they say, "Oh, well, I want to do that," I'm like,
look, I'm not trying to cut you off, but I do want to ask you a question. As a guy that's a Nigerian, I'm glad you said that. So, did you grow up? How long you grew up in the United States, or did you kind of?
Well, I was born in Compton. And
oh wow, I was born in Dominguez Hospital. I was born in Dominguez Hospital.
Oh, really?
Go ahead. Yes.
So my parents.
I'm not from Compton though. I left when I was 4. The reason I'm asking you, I'm asking you for you to continue to talk. I just want, because I don't get the opportunity to do this. We don't get the opportunity. You are Nigerian, so even though you're pretty much from here, but you still came up in a Nigerian household, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so my thing is, as a Nigerian, a guy that's used to dealing with patriarchy, because irregardless of the tribes, Igbo, Yoruba, I don't pretend to know that. I know all of y'all, ain't none of y'all matriarchal, correct?
No, we're not.
Okay, that's one thing you all share. So, with that being said, what is your experience in the household you come from as far as the expectation of how women are supposed to act? Dealing with ADOS African Americans. That's kind of, I'm curious about that. All right.
Hey, let me add something too, because by you being Nigerian, who exactly are you talking about? Nigerian women, black women?
No. I'm talking about.
No, he's talking about ADOS.
Yeah, I'm talking about Nigerian women.
Who he talking about?
I'm talking about ADOS. I'm not talking about Nigerian women. Nigerian women.
Okay, so one quick question. So as a Nigerian,
they'll do the fuck shit in the family.
Listen, so as a Nigerian man, if you have a problem with ADOS women, why don't you just get one of your women a Nigerian woman? Problem solved.
Well, here's the thing. Everything I do in the States, I have major plans. I'm going to be in the States for a very long time. And the thing about it is this: I could go back home and tie the knot. But if I'm going to be living here in the West, it's not me bringing my wife to be or whatnot to the West to stay out here with me. It can still prove futile because all it is all she has to do is get indoctrinated.
Yeah, the culture's the problem. So we all understand that. That's why I'm asking you, because we don't often get that opportunity, to hear it. We know the shit. I'm curious. Was the guy that you're talking about, was he Nigerian?
Yeah, he was Nigerian.
Okay, yeah, because my thing is, you got guys that come over that are here, and culture matters. That's why I'm trying to, really. I get that I gotta wait, but I'm like, culture matters. So
Yeah.
a lot of these motherfuckers will sit here and say shit like, "Well, we're not men enough," and all of that. You can't really say that about Africans that come over here. That bullshit really doesn't fly because of the culture background, the family background.
Yeah.
They are raised to be men. So it's
Oh
a
yeah,
good
100.
control. Hold on, it's a good control group. Plus, Nigerians pretty much outperform everybody, including Asians, as a group, according to what the stats say as far as education. But my point is that as a culture group, it's a good control group for really saying, okay, how would a man that's raised to be a man like really interact with an ADOS black woman? And that's
Okay.
why I want to value what you had to say on that front. And it's very valuable that other dude went through that shit too. Because a lot of y'all don't know what y'all fucking dealing with when y'all deal with this
Okay.
shit. Because
Okay.
y'all still think,
Hey,
oh,
hey,
well,
hey,
me being a
hey,
man is going to make
hey,
that woman be a woman.
hey,
Let me
hey,
tell you something.
hey, hey.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Let's let
My
man.
my
We haven't
father.
gotten back to you. We hadn't made his opening statement, guys.
Hey,
So,
Yeah.
slow down.
hey, one at a time, gentlemen. And well, Black Guru hasn't made his
What
opening
what?
statement, so
Well,
but
can I make one small statement real quick? Can I make one small? Because I don't want
real
to.
quick.
All right, yeah. This is the thing, okay? And because Bo already has his perception, and that's fine. But see, when I gave him the information about me and not being married, he just started making assumptions, negative assumptions toward men. But when I started talking about they don't like the women, he didn't make any negative assumption toward women. Well, the women gotta like him too. He didn't take into account that the main problems men have with women: too fat, too much debt, too many kids from somebody else, bad attitudes. He didn't go for any of those assumptions. He just put a whole thing about, well, men must be socially awkward. So when you
Yeah,
have
I
a
didn't like that.
man who only sees men as the problem, I mean, what kind of man are you dealing with at that
I
particular
like
point?
looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, damn, I'm socially awkward.
Yeah, I mean,
You
but
can't
but but I'm saying, and I'm
you
not trying
can't
to say
see
nothing about
socially
him.
awkward in the mirror though.
No,
I'm not saying
I'm being facetious, man.
no. And I'm saying this to be clear. I'm not saying anything about him, but I do. When I think of, if a man says other men must be socially awkward, to me that's almost a dead giveaway that they're socially awkward.
Okay,
Because
you
how
might.
many black
Okay, let
men
me
do you
ask you a
really see
question.
that's socially awkward?
Let me ask you a question. Since you say that, right? Have you ever in your life been around dudes who you be around and you be like, this dude corny. He's a square. He's a loner. He's a weirdo. You know what I mean?
I have seen guys like that. Yeah, and they're very small in population.
Okay, that's called being socially awkward.
Yeah, they're
Oh
very
my God,
small
we
in
know what it means.
population.
Can,
That's
can
the
Uh,
only
Black Guru get his
but
fuck
but
it?
B,
Can Black
B,
Guru get his
BO,
opening
hey,
statement?
but
BO, here's the thing, bro. First of all, thanks for having me up on the channel, Kevin. A very interesting discussion you men are having. You know,
It's no problem, Black Guru. But go ahead, get your opening statement in.
well, it's interesting. I have a nephew, or one of my wife's nephews. He's an engineer, and he, when he was young, he didn't do a lot of talking. He's a brilliant guy, obviously. Like I say, he's an electrical engineer, but he didn't do a lot of talking. He did a lot of reading, anime, that kind of stuff, comic books. Didn't do a lot of talking. And he had two very beautiful sisters who had lots of female friends, lots of, mostly black female friends. And so they would visit, I remember when they were younger, and the girls would say, he's cute, but he doesn't talk very much, or he's strange or whatever. So he didn't have a lot of social interaction initially with women. And I remember this one little blonde white girl just started coming to visit. She liked him. And it was interesting. I remember when I was visiting them, this white girl would be there, and she would be talking to him as they were doing whatever, like I said, watching television, or like I say, the anime stuff or whatever. I don't know, manga, whatever. I don't know much about that kind of stuff.
She snuck in there, did she?
But she would be just talking to him. He wouldn't be talking. She would be just talking, and they would be making plans, and they would go places and whatever. And he wouldn't be doing a whole lot of talking, right? And then, next thing you know, Latina girls, little Asian girls, and he goes to college, and he dates around. Now he is engaged to this fairly affluent, or family's wealthy white girl, and he would be one of those people, B.O., that black women would be considered to be socially awkward. Now, when you actually talk with him and sit down with him, like I say, he's a brilliant guy, funny guy, very humorous, very insightful young man, and like I say, obviously he's makes well into 6 figures. He's in his early 30s. But he would be considered socially awkward by a lot of black women. Now, he's not socially awkward to those white girls, those Indian girls or Asian girls he dated, but to black girls, he would be socially awkward. The point I'm making is that generally, black women have a fairly narrow and very often fucked up view about what is necessary to be socially acceptable to them. And the interesting thing, obviously, after he got on, all of those black female friends of the sisters are upset with the fact that he's no longer available to him. Now, he's the same guy socially. He hasn't changed at all in terms of how he operates. He's still a fairly quiet, introspective guy. But now that he's on, now that he's doing well, now that he's about 6'3" and fairly fit young man, now he's acceptable. He hasn't changed. He doesn't do anything different. He still does the anime. He still attends the Comic-Con, comic book things and all that kind of stuff. But now, because he looks a certain way, he has a certain economic level now. Now he's socially acceptable to them. And the point I'm making is that a lot of black people, and especially black women, have some very narrow-minded, very inconsequential, and very fallacious views of what it means to be socially acceptable. And it undermines a lot of black women very early on. And a lot of times they end up adopting certain kinds of social criteria that's actually often dangerous for the men involved. Particularly entertaining black men for black women very often end up doing jail time. So I think we have to really evaluate, this whole social acceptance things amongst black people. Because for black men in particular, things that often entertain black women, we often get in trouble for it. We often suffer some sort of economic, some sort of legal exposure or damage to be, quote, socially acceptable for many black women.
What college did he go to?
He went to Purdue in Indiana.
I don't even think it make that much of a difference. I'm gonna say what Black Guru ain't gonna say. Well, at least it don't seem like he want to say right at this moment. At the end of the day, a lot of black women who quote unquote call you socially awkward. Yeah, I get that they want to use the man now that he's on in their opinion, but success and a lot of black women don't go together. Black women are not looking for men that are geared towards success. They're looking for men. They're looking for men that They're looking
I
for
just have
men.
to address
That,
something real
That's
quick.
kind of the
that,
flaw in this
that,
damn
yeah.
everybody get an opening statement because it's like completely freezes the conversation.
Well,
But
I
Yeah,
go
was
ahead.
gonna say
and I was actually going to let you in, Ed, because you seemed like you had a lot to say, and
Well,
I
I was
was
just gonna
interested
bounce, but
in your.
I understand Black
Yeah.
Cougar. I respect. It's just like, cause then it becomes inner. I get it. This is how y'all do it in the habitual line steppers, but it like completely freezes it. It's almost to the point where I'll just leave and come back later when y'all do that. And I know I'm the last one that should be saying that shit, but I really just came to come in and come out. But but go ahead. I know somebody wanted to ask something.
Ed, can I get 10 seconds? I promise. I want to ask
Yeah,
Bo.
yeah.
Okay, Bo. So I looked in the comments, and you and I, we obviously don't agree, but you're using shaming tactics. You said, well, his Nigerian women don't want him, socially awkward, and that's why he can't get ADOS women or what
I
have you.
didn't. I
And the
didn't
thing
call you
about it is,
awkward in the comments.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm about to say something now.
I
Okay,
didn't
because
call you awkward.
I
What
get
I
I
said,
get
hey,
accused.
bro, can you just let the dude finish talking and let me respond to him? Because you keep on over talking
bro,
everybody,
listen,
jumping out of it
bro.
everywhere.
It's not much
So,
I need to say. Listen,
okay,
you
Hey,
don't.
whoa. Hey. Host. Calm down,
all right.
everybody, before it
I'm just
gets
saying.
off too bad.
The brother
Okay, so
accused me of saying something, and I just
I
wanted to
thought. I mean,
clarify what I said.
you said, well, he obviously can't get his own Nigerian women, and so he comes out here and he has problem with ADOS women
Right.
because it's something about me being socially awkward or whatever.
I
What
never
I'm trying
called you
to,
socially awkward.
well, okay, maybe I misread, but I know you said I couldn't get Nigerian women, and the funny thing is this: is that I'm not over here bragging about nothing or whatnot, but it's really nothing for me to. I've had a lot of situations where I considered marrying certain Nigerian women, but I was not where I wanted to be in my career. I had other plans at the time. And being out here, I don't have an issue being able to get those women. That's not the point. The point is this: is that the kind of man that I am, I don't put up with. I set my father taught me from a young age, set the tone. You do not lead with your wallet. Do not don't get
But
stepped on. I set the tone.
I agree with you, right? I agree
Hold
with
on,
you,
hold
brother.
on,
But
hold on,
my
hold on, hold on, hold on. I lay the ground rules, and a lot of times, when you do things like that, it causes a lot of friction. And when friction occurs, I say hit the bricks. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
I agree with you, right? But my point in saying that was that how you're saying that you're able to get Nigerian women, but you didn't marry them for whatever reason.
I didn't
And
say
then
that before. I just said that now.
okay, well, whatever, right? The thing is, most people marry within their own culture, right? So
Yeah.
most Nigerians marry Nigerians, right? And the
Yeah.
fact that you aren't married to a Nigerian woman or you can't marry one, whatever the case may be, criticizing the fact that you can't get a African American woman isn't that far off because you haven't even been able to secure one of your own women.
Bro,
Wait, Richard. I mean, y'all going a long way to say the same shit. He's saying you a fucking lame. I mean, goddamn.
I've had African American women. I've smashed a
I
lot
mean,
of
I get that. And so we're playing this game where you're defending that you're not a lame and he's calling you a lame.
pretty
I
much.
mean, shit. Y'all are going a long way with this shit. I knew that shit as soon as you said something about the chat, which is why I wanted to jump in. I'm not trying to act like I'm like hyper intelligent, but
Okay,
that
but
shit
why
is mind numbing.
you
When
hyper
you all are taking a
emotional?
slow walk.
You hyper emotional.
Well,
No,
Like
let
a
me let
woman.
me let
No,
me
you all are fucking dumb. I mean, damn. We all hear that. Y'all are taking a long way to what we all knew you was gonna come back to. Roger, am I wrong on this?
No, I knew it was coming back there.
That's it.
Yeah,
So, I mean, Black Guru, did you see that shit coming?
yeah. I mean, we know
Okay,
we know
so,
he was using black female shaming tactics, and we
and,
know a very common one is this whole business
and it
of
ain't just
brothers.
not on, it's not even just
Yeah,
on him. I get the Nigerian dudes knew he don't know, so I get he's telling the story to, and this is where I get mad at Africans sometimes when they tell the long story of some shit, and this is where, us being African Americans, we're very direct, which is why we get annoyed whenever African Americans aren't being direct. I mean, if you think he's a lame, call him a lame. I get that. And it's also this bullshit where really he thinks to the dude that's Nigerian, you have no cause to say shit because you're not ADOS. So as soon as I mentioned that, he basically I could see the change immediately. But that's not the purpose of me asking him that. So at the end of the day, let's come back to this. Now I'm gonna get my opening fucking statement. We can look at black women and their collective outcomes to know how they don't know how to use their pussy. Let's just call that what the fuck it is. The same niggas they choose that they say are not socially awkward are the same niggas that they try to come to the social, quote unquote, socially awkward niggas later, the niggas like Black Huru's nephew or who he's talking about, and sell them this story about how they survived the fuck niggas, and he's supposed to do what Dr. Boyce Watkins did and clean up after their fucking mess. At least his wife was married. That's what they do. That's their mating pattern.
Hey,
it's called a It's called a matriarchal mating pattern.
I'm finna check out because y'all seem a little too hyper emotional, and it's
well,
too
check
late.
the fuck out.
It's too
check
late
out.
to be.
Brother, that's not
screaming.
that's not, bro.
And
that's not why
you got the emotions like a real bitch.
Yes. Check the fuck out.
Edward, give me 1 second. Bro, you checking out because at the end of the day, and this is what some men just gotta realize. There are some men, they think every woman's good enough for you. So you know what I'm saying? And that's why he said something about when men not being married. Well, you know, the guys must be socially awkward, but he didn't say nothing about the women. He didn't say they were fat. He didn't say they had bad attitudes. Didn't say they was in debt. Didn't say they had a bunch of kids.
Also, like I said, you can come here as long as you're respectful. But Ed been with us, been down with us for a while. So calling men bitches ain't exactly my thing. You know,
well, I'm not. I mean, that's what them niggas do. I mean, his IQ. I'm sorry, his IQ is fucking with me right now because he's so slow. I'm sorry. I was waiting on mute. I literally had to take my headset fucking out, and I'm still like, damn, you ain't even on the first sentence. The fuck? I'm sorry. I only came in this bitch for 5 minutes to say something, and that 5 minutes is turning into a fucking 30.
I don't understand where you're coming from, man. You know, I really do. I really do. You know, I just felt like I wanted to address something, but you know, it is what it is. I know what it is, man. And you know,
yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, shit. Let me say what the fuck I gotta say, and then I'll leave, and then y'all can handle him if I'm upsetting him. But because like I'm almost starting to forget what the fuck I'm gonna say because y'all are going the long way rather than being direct. You want to call me a bitch? Be direct. Say what the fuck you really think. Don't fucking slow the shit. So we're having this long 30-40 minute conversation like we ain't got other shit to do, you know, calling me a bitch, and I'm sitting here literally saying what the fuck you saying. Because everybody sees it. I mean, it's fine. You can have that opinion. But damn. Like shit, if you think you're lame, you think you're lame. But understand something. Nigerians are the most educated in this country. So literally as a group. So by fucking definition of what that black bitch says about they're the most educated group, then technically these are the motherfuckers they should be chasing. But they don't like Nigerians because the same bullshit he said. Them niggas don't be dealing with their bullshit. That's why they don't date Africans in general. Because Africans are too fucking patriarchal. That's really what it is. Now Caribbeans they tend to like more because Caribbeans are more like us. Caribbeans statistically are like more physically a little bit bigger than average African American, and they do the same kind of fucking peacock dance, fucking gigolo shit that African Americans do. Africans are not really socialized to be that way across the board, and Nigerians are like one of the more patriarchal until you start getting into like the Muslims. And I know there's Nigerians that are Muslim as well. I know most of y'all are like that, but you get what I'm saying. So my point is, there's so much stuff here that I understand. It's like, and when people are talking, they're talking for shit they don't know what the fuck they're saying. You know, and I get that people are gonna have their opinion. So let me dial this back a little bit, and then I'll hop off and let this shit rock. Because I know I usually don't wild out like this, but goddamn. So here, let me dial it back, and I'm glad Huru did go first because you know, I want you to understand, Black Huru's married. He ain't got nothing but daughters. So my point is, he wants to see black women win. So he's not saying this from he's mad, he's upset standpoint. You know, he's saying this from somebody that's really observed. You know, so let's just keep it real. Who we talking to? Kev is married. You know, me, right? You know, so let's stop acting like we talking to a bunch of niggas that can't get bitches. Roger's from Chicago. I live in Chicago, Compton. So we're talking about niggas in hyper competitive markets. So whatever. Anyway, let me dial this shit back. When it comes to the original contest, which was the bashing thing, that's really what I wanted to talk about. The thing is, every time I'm gonna give y'all useful in the chat. Whenever somebody says that you're bashing, Now, women, I get why they say that, but especially this for men, but it works for women too. Ask, okay, is it accurate though? Is what I'm saying correct or incorrect? Let's get that out of the question. Because if they say it's correct, then at that point I give no fucks about what they're talking about, because that means they're being emotional. The issue with black women is black women have built up a negative image off of black men, and they're not accurate about what they say. They lie. And it is the entire cottage industry of black women lying on black men to the point where the boys suffer. Fuck the men. The boys suffer because of the lies that black women tell about us. I'm not saying everything they say is 100% a lie, but they create images that are completely not built on the truth, which is why I asked the follow-up question to the dude that's from Nigeria about his friend. And I wanted to know, I didn't know if he'd be Nigerian or not, but that's interesting because they take that bullshit to other cultures of black men irregardless, because you can say what you want to say about him being lame. That bitch still chose his friend. That bitch still chooses to deal with him. So clearly the women don't think he's lame at first. But anyway, going back, my point is, I don't care about the bashing part. I care about the accuracy. And if the problem is black people like to use the bashing concept as a mechanism to say, well, it's accurate, but I feel some type of way about what you're saying. And what happens is, and this is why I wanted to pop on here real quick. There's a dude I listen to by the name of Carcino. He was talking to, Mr. Soto. You know who I'm talking about. Mr. I invented everything. That's what I'm going to start calling him. Mr. I get credit for everything. And he doesn't like him. Now, we share that in common. But one of the things he said about Mr. Soto was that he was misogynist. Now, this is a dude that typically doesn't deal in our sector. He's more on the sports side. And so it was interesting with him looking on the outside, looking in, because he was almost about to work with him. And that's an interesting choice of words he chose to use. And a lot of y'all dudes got to understand that. And by the way, with these women calling Kevin, that proves to you they're not socially awkward. They're socially awkward either. It's almost as if a bitch can't be socially awkward the way black society operates. And Kevin Samuels has proven that shit is not true. So that's one contribution he's given with these women calling. But anyway, the thing is, you got black men that they are. Let me say it this way and be quick. If I were to tell a dude that has never dealt with white supremacy, a black man that is from America, that is ADOS, that he comes from a very, great household, mother and father, they're around white people, same class, all of that. And he comes in here and he tells you that, well, I don't believe white supremacy is really true. I think you niggas are just fucking lazy. Based on his experience, is he wrong? Based on his experience? But we know black men would collapse on that nigga, even dudes from different classes, because we wouldn't let that fly. But see, when we sit there and talk about how the same thing flips when it comes to a female, now we want to say you're socially awkward. So I always find that interesting how when black conservatives, even ones that really have black people's best interests at heart, tell black people, well, maybe you niggas just fucking, your culture is fucked up. And that's why you have the outcome that you have. That's that success shit Roger was talking about. Now you're a coon. But when it comes to that bitch, it's that you're socially awkward. I'm going to say it in a different way so y'all can understand. Notice how the white man never has nothing to do with game. But when it comes to economics, the white man got his foot on my neck. Same nigga, different thing. And that is where black men got to stop playing this bullshit socially awkward card, because you all, when you say that, that means you are looking at a man through the eyes of a bitch. That makes you, in my opinion, a slave to a bitch. Because the reality is, when you say, he's socially awkward, even if he is, as a man, dudes that are socially awkward are useful. There are skills that they have. We're not supposed to look at men like women do. No homo. So when you say, that nigga corny right there, I can't, fuck with him right there. Are you trying to fuck him? Because the reality is, you look at all these corny ass white folks that create all this technology that you fucking use, this social media. Some black men got to evolve into it. But it's like, your whole world is predicated on niggas that are fucking corny. I gotta say this, and I'm done. Niggas that are fucking corny conquered your ass. Niggas that are fucking corny that came in there and pretend they black on some yo shit, even in Africa. Those are the motherfuckers that got you. It wasn't niggas that physically got you. It was the one that mentally broke your ass. Until this day, I'm not gonna use the J word, but you got the J word folks literally selling you your own fucking music. And only people like, Dr. Dre and Ice Cube figured that shit out. What happened? What happened with Dr. Dre and Ice Cube when they figured that shit out? The other niggas turned on them. Remember that? And Ice Cube had a 2-parent household. You're not gonna say he ain't a real nigga. And you damn sure ain't gonna say Dr. Dre ain't no real nigga. Cause he done smacked the bitch a couple of times. Like for real. So my point is, we gotta learn how to think outside of our own culture, which is why it's important that we talk about these things like ADOS, not ADOS, because you can't be a slave to it. And yeah, that's really what I got. But man, stop looking through niggas through the eyes of a female, yo. Cause them females don't even like what they pick. That's why they out here lying about why they did what they did. Because they got buyer's remorse. Anyway. I'm done. This soapbox is brought to you by Edward Anderson.
Whenever I hear it's socially awkward.
Hold up, Black.
I ain't gonna lie, that shit pissed me off when I heard that shit.
Yeah.
And no, I am not socially awkward. I fuck black bitches. So
okay.
For anybody that wants to question it.
Okay,
Anyway.
let me read Sonny's Hot Rock super chat. And by the way, thank you once again for supporting our channel, Sonny's Hot Rock. Question: are black men socially awkward, or are black women too antisocial to realize a perfectly normal, functioning black man who they often mistake for being socially unacceptable? Let me tell you something. Black men aren't socially awkward. We're trendsetters. Everybody want to be like us. Everybody wants to be the guy with the big dick. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And we display that quite often on these platforms and in our real lives. I think even though a struggle for me as a black man in this country is being black, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the goddamn world, period. And I don't think that's socially awkward at all. Are black women too antisocial to a huge level, especially when they got some looks about them? How many black women you see and you're just casually walking in the store that they kind of got some something cute about them, but they're immediately on their cell phones, like they're trying to discourage people from approaching them for talking? I mean, yeah, I do believe that. Yes, they are too antisocial to notice a good man in front of them. And
black men that are truly socially awkward are not a threat to leave.
Yeah,
and you know what? I want to. Well, I mean, I'm being for real when I hear that socially awkward thing. I'm just using common sense. How many black men have you ran into that were actually socially awkward amongst your life's path? I estimate that may be 0.05% of 0.5% of black men, 0.5%. It might be like a half a percentage that are actually socially awkward.
Well, what socially awkward means is you don't make a black bitch's pussy wet.
No.
And let's keep it real. A low level, a socially awkward white boy can fuck a pretty much an 8 black chick. But so let's stop cut the bullshit.
That ain't even my point. My point is they barely exist. Black men have always been perceived as the coolest people. You know what I'm saying? So a socially awkward black man barely even exists. So for a person to say that, especially once I brought up the fact that more than half the men ain't married, well, they probably socially awkward and just can't get a woman. Nigga, they don't even like what's available. And for a man to not be able to recognize that is a man that's telling me, and I'm not gonna make no direct assumption on him, but it sounds to me like a person wants to convince me that something that is acceptable for him should also be acceptable for me.
Well, that's another thing when it comes to that fat bitch thing. And another thing too is on that fucking the shit with the kid, the shit that when people aren't having kids, Because that's another thing. Because that's an attack. That's another bitch statement. Because when women think about it, and I'm not even saying that to call somebody a name, but when females, like, I'm 34. So when females are looking at dudes, any other race of female will look at a dude that don't have kids like, oh, good. He's got money. I could probably, get him even though I'm 30 or something. You know what I'm saying? And start fresh, right? But a lot of black women will look at that and say, oh, does his dick work? Because that's what they're thinking. And they don't understand that thought process is actually why they 60% of black women that's got 2 kids got them by 2 different dudes. This is where, and we just dealt with this on Art in the Stalls thing with a female, whatever. I'm not going on a long story. But my thing is, when you hear other black men saying that, they get those thought processes from women. And that's the same thing when Kanye, remember when everybody want to talk about Kanye and his effeminate motions? And he said it was because he was raised by his single mom and women around him. People try to accuse Kevin Samuels of that, and he says he comes out of a matriarchy. That's actually the same thing, but from a mental standpoint. And a lot of y'all don't really understand that. This is why a lot of y'all can't work with other dudes. Or the dudes that y'all work with gotta be exactly like y'all, which is why y'all don't go nowhere, usually.
Nope.
So when people talk about that kid shit, that's another way. Like it's 18% of black men for the most part that's creating 80% of these kids. And if you look at how these niggas can't read and all this other bullshit, well, shit, the conclusion that I would have with you niggas is you niggas IQ might not be right. If y'all want to play that game on somebody socially awkward, and let me be clear, if you're broke, being broke is the quintessential definition of being socially awkward in the United States of America. This is a more capitalistic country. And black men economically are very socially awkward. That's why they can talk a bitch out or draws, but can't talk another dollar out of another dude. Anyway, I'm about to bounce out, but I appreciate it. But I said
my point was that we got to accept the fact that when men say certain things like that, y'all got to pay attention. Some of these men, I'm not gonna say they ain't married and things like that, but they do have some women that if you saw their wives, you wouldn't necessarily think she's acceptable. So there are guys trying to convince men to accept something that we don't want to accept. You sociopath because you're not with this fat broad. You're sociopath because you're not with this broad that got a bunch of kids by a bunch of different niggas. You're sociopath because you don't like a black woman with an attitude. You know what I'm saying? You're sociopath because you actually like a functioning, stable person who has a mental capacity that anybody can respect. That makes you socially awkward. These guys are trying to convince y'all to accept stuff that nobody should want.
Yeah,
because it'll make them feel better about their wife or their girlfriend.
They tend to say in a way of like, oh, Elliot Rodgers, I think the kid that couldn't get a girl and he shot up a school or whatever. I actually had somebody say, well, this whole manosphere, there are guys in there that they don't know how to talk to women. They're like, and they use that same guy's name, and I have to check somebody on that. I'm like, that is that's a very dangerous thing to say, and it's sad. A lot of people tend to think like that. People that don't understand the mechanics of what's going on these type of platforms. And on top of that, they think that we're just talking about women. Like I tell people, I say, look, it's a combination of talking about politics, the way the law is structured, leveling up, finances, just things that will make a man a better version of himself, and also a way for black men to have a voice. Because this is the first time really that black men have a voice, because before social media and YouTube or whatnot, it's television, daytime television. You know how daytime television.
Well, Hybrid, real quick, because I get what you're saying, but I'm saying for like men who come against that, if you are dating a fat broad or you're married to a fat broad, wouldn't it make you feel better if everybody else was married to a fat broad too?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. When men come saying little slick stuff here and there, they want to be viewed as acceptable men. Because as a man, when we look at you and you walk in the room with somebody who ain't quite right, whether she fat, she look off in the face, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's something. She clearly is not at the standard of that generally men are going to accept. Hey. You want other men to accept those women too, so you'll feel better about your situation.
Exactly, which is why they defend it. Yeah, Roger, I'm sitting there looking at the chat, and you always got Brother Ray being the he's always having a dissenting opinion. Talk about accuracy is a new one for me. Whenever he brings his ass on the panel, he's always agreeing with what the fuck we say when we actually explain it to him in layman's terms. And then you got fucking JB Management talking about this nigga Edward. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to blow shit up, but I just like that shit is like nails on the chalkboard. When niggas think they saying some shit so fucking profound, and it's like nigga, and especially when I know all you got to do is just say what's on your mind. I mean, we black men. As long as you can defend it, defend it. But like, you understand how fast that conversation could have moved? He said, "Yeah, man, I think you a lame because you can't even get your own women, so you sitting here doing this." Now, we're not gonna get in the point that this is a nigga that probably doesn't have a passport, that has no fucking clue about, obviously environment. You choose from environment. So the dude is in the middle of fucking Compton. There ain't a whole bunch of Nigerian chicks like necessarily right with him to pick. See, there's so many things that people don't ever consider when they make dumbass statements, and a lot of y'all in the chat are sitting there going along with it. So I mean, I'm sorry if I blew up, but hey, at the end of the day, man, y'all niggas got to start expecting
He must have hit a bad area.
point.
Yeah.
You get mad at me all you want to, but fuck that. I'm sorry. Like, maybe my mind moves too fast with some of you fuckers, but like, I'm saying like that. Anyway.
Well, look, the whole socially awkward thing. I mean, whenever I hear that phrase, my mind goes in different directions. One of which I'm thinking, like, what the fuck are we talking about? Something that, like, high school girls get turned on by. It just always seems very sort of childish to me, or it just always seems very sort of limited or restricted in terms of how men should be. I just think in general, black people or many black people have just, well, I would say black women have a somewhat bizarre combination of things that they are turned on by. And when you look at a lot of them, a lot of those things are destructive for black men. I mean, a lot of stuff that black women are turned on by, brothers get arrested for, and it's just always interesting to me, like, black men are supposed to be like some kind of damn clown show for black women, even to the point in which at some point somebody gets shot or somebody gets arrested or some nonsense like that. And the women are having a great time while all the excitement is going on. And then your ass gets locked up or lose money or whatever because you've invested so much of yourself in entertaining them, and they go on to the new nigga. They go on to the new clown. So I'm very suspicious of this notion of black men being some form of great entertainment for black women. I think a lot of brothers should be much more, they should do what they enjoy doing personally for themselves. And if women don't particularly think it's socially enjoyable or socially acceptable, fuck them and go get you some Latina girl or whatever.
But Black Rule, if your perception, if your worldview is that the woman should be in charge, it makes sense to say that. And I'm not saying that about that particular guy. I'm just saying in general, it makes sense to say, the reason you don't have a woman is because you're not man enough. Because that already says that women are supposed to be running the show. If you're a woman-led man, it makes perfect sense that you come to that conclusion. Now, if you believe in men being the lead, then the woman has to actually meet the man standard. But if you just don't believe in men should be leaders, and you don't believe that men need to set the tone, and I asked him a certain question, and he did say, well, but the women got to like him too. But he just never could come to a conclusion that something may be wrong with a woman. To me, it's a sad thing if a man cannot legitimately come to a conclusion that a woman can actually have a problem. And if you cannot come to a conclusion that a woman can actually have a problem, I'm not going to say what your girl look like. Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying that if I had to pick would I want to have sex with his woman? Not that I would, but I'm saying would I want to? The answer might be no. It's probably a good chance. The answer is no.
Okay, guys. We got Perfect Timing Podcast up here, hosted by Big D Rants. Go ahead, brother. You got the floor. Thank you for coming up once again. And I appreciate all the input that I got. And I know things got a little tense for a second, but you know, sometimes these can happen in these conversations. And I did say earlier, you know, sometimes we do have different dissenting opinions, but the one thing that I want to enforce here is that if you know, state your opinion at your own risk. I'll put it like that. But welcome, Perfect Timing.
Thank you. Kev, would you mind going back over to your perspective on the topic? I got my little perspective. I didn't hear the beginning your intro, so I want to hear where you was going, because like you said, the conversation went a different way.
Yeah, well, the topic for tonight is black men bashing black women is not a real issue. In fact, for the climate, I would say is almost non-existent. I would say that. So that's enough for you to build off of.
I like
okay.
that. I like that. It kind of piggybacks off a conversation we was having last night on the stream. Roger came through on the panel last night. I'm not gonna mention it. I feel I got my feel. I'm gonna say straight up, the panel that we was on last night, in my opinion, was BS. I don't know how you feel about profanity, Kev, but I feel like
you don't know.
Hey,
let it ride.
Bro, you read the bottom of the screen.
Okay. It is habitual line stepper. So yeah, I feel like the panel we was on was bullshit. It's so much. It was really the part that was bullshit is like, if you got a brother, you don't let some bitch disrespect your brother. How the disrespect was allowed to go on. I don't like the way she talked to Roger. I don't like what happened on the panel. I don't like the question. What I was saying today, if you in this thing of ours, simply asking the motherfucker question is if I'm part of it, motherfucker, lift your shirt up. Who the fuck is you? You in here already. How the fuck you gonna ask is you a part of it? And what the fuck is it? That's a question where I gotta check your collar. Like, you got a mic on? Like, so when you say it's not the issue, you motherfucking right, it's not the issue. Bashing black women is not the issue. And that's what I said first and foremost. So if it's a question about the definition of this version of the manosphere, it's not that we ain't bashing black women. We about getting this type of bullshit right about how these cats out here acting fraudulent, man. That's the shit that really bothers me, man. You be like, what bothers you, baby? Nothing bothers you, baby. It's these fraudulent fake cats, baby. That's what bothers me, man. It's not about bashing black women. It's about self-love, insecurities, and building this brotherhood. And what I learned on Roger's panel last week is that I was thinking that we had to build the brotherhood before we can get to the networking, because I don't want to do business with someone that I can't trust. But what I learned is someone else is at a higher level than me, and it's okay if we're at different levels accurately. And so those brothers who are at that level, Roger, if you at the level where you ready and you are filled with self-love and you don't have any insecurities and you have that trust for that other brother who has it at that level, they already networking. So simultaneously, as we build the brotherhood, bring other people up, and that has nothing to do with bashing black women. Sorry, it's not about your funky, flabby, flat-footed, funky ass. It's about us getting our business right, our spirit right, our mental right, and as those who ready, our pockets right at the same time. Man, that shit pissed me off, man, because it was just so nonchalantly gone over that one of the great leaders, creator of the Cool Table, you just gonna let some sideline, somebody with nothing, just not even know half a wit to hold a conversation. You don't let that happen. And right now there's a conversation being talked about how these cats let women into the space. And I just created a podcast for Tuesday about 5.0, because when I brought up the JX character, Cats told me, oh, she part of the space. Oh, she did. I said, hey, it looked like she over there hustling, and I'm not really cool with it. Oh, Big D, you get too loud. Big D, you too. I'm like, it's not really cool. So now somebody finally saying, hey, that's not cool, and y'all empowered her, and y'all clowns. Well, guess what? I'm not part of it. I'm brand new. It's a brand new thing. I'm not bashing black women. I'm not cool with women being on the panels and being in this space. I'm down with what the African brother Nameless said about separating brothers, about having our own in-group, and that's not including women. And we do not talk about and do the things that happen on that panel in public. If you had a question like that, you can call Roger, you can call the elders, you can call the leaders, and you can really get clarification. But that was some clown ass shit. It's not about bashing women, especially when we got this fraudulent behavior running rampant in the space. And it's happening because I drew a line in the sand. And I'm glad because you showing your colors of who you really is. In the chat, I'm watching you. I see you in the chat. I see you going over to that clown panel. I see you going over to, you in this chat being a troll, but then you go over to that clown panel and you so egregious and you so humble, but you in this chat trolling. So I'm not going to be your partner. I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not going to be forgiving. It's a big fuck you to you clowns trolling in this chat with being cool with all the pimps and all the people with women on their panel drinking alcohol and using profanity. You will never find a woman on my panel drinking alcohol and using profanity. That goes against what we preach every day. That's not who I want my son to marry. So I'm not going to clown on the panel with him or in a chat with him and then get on your panel and say, I can't use profanity. Whoa, you a clown.
All right. Listen, my warning is very clear to anyone who views this channel. There is harsh language used over here. So, you know, if you feel the need to express yourself and you feel like dropping a shit or a fuck or a I don't know, whatever you like, whatever curse word you like, you know, go ahead, say it and express it. But also, we also like to use a little common sense over here as well. So I have no doubt that the people who associate themselves with us are people of common sense. So you can barely worry about it here, but it's not always going to be a situation to where everybody is always going to be, I guess, respectful, because I don't like to do too much policing, you know, but my suggestion to anyone that, you know, comes in here and you can come to this channel if you want. You can go to other channels, I mean, if you want, and act a certain way, be fake or be real or whatever. I mean, it's cool. I don't own any of you guys. You know what I'm saying? You may be subscribed, but you know, you're subscribed to other people too. So I'm not going to be the kind of guy that has any objection to you going to other channels. And, you know, unless, I mean, if you disrespecting us, you know, if you're not saying it over here or saying it to where I'm in view of it, or, you know, or saying it to where, oh, well, fuck you, kid, what you going to say about it? 99% possibility I'm not going to respond. So, I mean, we got some cool shit going on over here. But I mean, like, I'm getting off in a little tangent myself. But yeah, black men.
No, say that shit. Say that shit. Say that shit, man. I'm hot, man. Say that shit.
Can I say something, Ken?
Say that shit, man.
Yeah, go ahead, guy. Go ahead.
Shit.
Okay.
You could have been blessed that Roger came on your panel.
I know what Perfect is talking about, but Perfect, you got to understand, some stuff is done with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't about us in that moment. I was on a Gold Professors panel, and there was a woman that I saw what his show was about, and I figured correctly that a woman was basically being combative and doing things like that on the panel. So I came on the show, and I said, "You don't know who I am, do you?" Of course, she said no. And I said, okay, cool, because I'm not aware of you. I've never seen you before, and I'm gonna give you all the benefit of the doubt in the world. Okay, so I asked. I had 3 questions for her, and she didn't answer any of them. you know. But she was doing exactly what I did to her when I asked the question. My first question was, why do you hate black men? So she was thrown through a loop. She didn't know how to respond, and I didn't care about that question because that was just a setup question. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't know how to respond to it, and then she was getting upset that I even asked her the question because basically, in my opinion, her attitude was, "Who is this nigga to even ask me that?" You know what I'm saying? But she didn't actually seem bothered by the question because when she heard the question, she said she's based on my memory of it, she was comparing it to authority figure. You wouldn't ask your boss at work that. You wouldn't ask a white man that, which tells me she views white men as an authority. And I think she said you wouldn't ask the president that. She said some type of political figure. I'm pretty sure it was the president. So she was comparing me asking that question to other what she sees as authority figures. So that tell me where her head was. So the question didn't bother her. It was just she felt like I wasn't in a position to even ask her that because she thinks she's an authority figure to me. That's why she compared me asking that question to a bunch of authority figures. Now, then I say, okay, well, since we already made it clear that we don't know each other, I said, well, how did it make you feel for a person who doesn't know anything about you to to ask you a question with such an assumption implied in it? Now she didn't want to answer that question. Then she started trying to say stuff like she's confused and she didn't even understand what was being asked. Okay, and then I asked her. I said, well, how, you know what I'm saying? Do you think if a person asks you a question like that you don't know and they put such a major assumption on you that you can have a productive conversation with that person? And then she didn't want to answer that question. And I totally get why she didn't want to answer that question. Because what was she doing before I got there? She came in there making a bunch of assumptions about the men. You see what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? And she wasn't trying to have a legitimate conversation. She was just there to be combative. And that's all it was. So the reason she had such a problem, Perfect, because I literally asked her these questions because they were literally what she was doing. So to answer my question, as far as how did it make her feel, now she would have to actually take into account how she's trying to make other people feel, and asking that question about can we have a productive conversation with somebody who's already putting a major assumption on somebody else? Well, for her to really deal with that question, she got to look at the fact that that's exactly what she's doing. She came in there to make a bunch of assumptions about other people that she clearly don't know. So that's why it bothered her. I was doing that for audience sake. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was gonna be over her head, and she wasn't the goal as far as who I was trying to reach.
I agree. I agree. And my point of bringing it up is the topic tonight because it speaks to delineation and the separation, and it brings that into play when that is not what you're about and your platform is about and what I'm about. But when individuals who seek to make that the issue, bring into contentious individuals on the planet with somebody like you, it taints the message. And then Soul Shader is asking Kev, what is the merit and the credit of the manosphere? That conversation deteriorated into a panel full of women and catty women talking about nothing, and it really incensed me that it seemed like somebody had like how you talk about intention. Oh, I was stomping around my house because I'm like, it had to be some intent with this, because anyone watching this would put a bad taste in their mouth for the manosphere. If because this is a person and people who participate in it, you know. So I want to take a step back because maybe I'm going to, but I'm gonna say this. This thing is shaking out right now. There's a conversation about 4.0 being goofy. The other day there was a conversation about who's going to bring the balance. This thing is shaking out. This cool table is forming, and as it forms, by default, the out group is forming, and they are screaming like a hit dog. So we have to
that's the motherfucking truth too.
I mean, I get it, but to me it's not that serious. I think I get why people will take it that seriously, so I'm not trying to minimize that. I did decide to come back because of what he was saying. But the thing is, I think sometimes
Hey, thank you for coming back, bro, because I'll be the only one, like you when I was listening to you, my wife was listening to you, I was like, oh, God, dang, I got to get on this panel. This man cussing and fussing, like he sound like me. Like, I need to.
Well, apparently I sound like a female according to some of these dumbass niggas in
Oh,
the chat.
man, no,
Whatever.
man. They've never been a man.
Here's the thing. Here's the good news. And this is why I say speak with. Here's the good news. You know, I hate sometimes we use the 1.0, 2.0 as far as to separate the eras. And like a lot of things, I think people run that shit like off the rails a little bit. The good news is there are a lot of channels of new channels of independent dudes like that are really sprouting up. I've been observing them. Some of them are a little bit longer than others. That you got the Kwame situation, the Kevin situation. Now the Kwame situation is bringing in a lot of sports people. This kind of some of the people that they talk about like just everything too, and it's bringing a lot of opportunities for channels that's got like 6K, 3K, 4K, 10K, 8K. Some of them have been growing really crazy, so they had less channels, and so this creates an opportunity to get access to a broader audience. So, and you can really, if you know what you're doing, pick whatever audience you're trying to really go for. That's why I'm very glad about the Kwame situation, because everybody that may like the point what Kevin's doing to some of the points, they may disagree with some things, but it may be the image that kind of Kevin has that they don't identify with. Now you have other people. There's other people that's really popping off, whether it's at that level or if it's at lower levels, it's like north of 100 that people can identify with. So it takes away a little bit of that friction. So there is an opportunity to really consolidate a lot of stuff. And we have a lot of the information. We all have roles to play. Like me, I have to understand that people are coming to information in their own time and really let them do that and help to facilitate that rather than assuming everybody's going to be on my level at the same speed because I've been here so long. So there are a lot of things going as good. The biggest threat to like this is really us. It's really us. It's really the crab in the barrel shit is the biggest threat. The bitches are going to do what the bitches are going to do. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't like not on every panel. There's certain panels. There's enough panels that don't even have women on there like that. And then unfortunately, like people want, look, I have no problem with JX, but the real blame for her is really the audience. And I'll give you a perfect example. Cynthia G is at 65,000 subscribers. A lot of that is niggas. There's a lot of dudes that will openly admit, yeah, I listen to Cynthia G, she's entertaining. I've cussed my channel out many times telling them niggas to not sub to me if they sub to her. They still stay around. Like you can't get and let's be clear here. I'm sure you would agree. I'm sure you would agree that JX is nowhere near as bad.
I was told to accept her. I was told to accept her, Ed. I was told.
Yeah, so hold on. I'm sure you would agree that JX is not as bad as Sin G, even if you don't want JX here either. I get that. I'm sure you'd agree to that. But my point is saying that how bad she is. I tell a lot of these dudes, stop listening to these chicks that's gonna make you mad. Because even if you want to listen to, I've even given these people alternatives. People that ain't even on YouTube. Love Dorsey ain't even on YouTube like that. She on Instagram.
What's the issue with JX though? What's the issue with her? What's she do?
Well, I mean, some people just don't like it because she's a woman in this space, and they see that as kind of like a gateway drug. So I can understand it.
She hustling.
I don't like
been
her
in the space though.
I don't like her because I believe she siphons energy and attention that should go to men. I view it as I view it as a real estate issue. And she's
I can understand that, but the thing is, like, the reason why I point out the audience is Cynthia G was. Look, I'm not taking no. Y'all can feel the way I feel about
Black
her.
If that is the case,
I'm
then there needs
saying
to be a
is she was
council.
here before her, and she's growing. So it's not like okay, you remove her, that solves the problem because she's the one that really interacts with us more than anybody else in that sense. You remove her, you still got all these other people. You still got the main ones. Hell,
a council would eliminate all this shit. Now y'all see why a council is needed?
Yes.
Is everybody starting to see that yet?
Let me let me give a greeting to Rogish the Build Monger and Rogish Son, but as he's labeled, and Sheed we here. What's up, fellas? Just
Long
join.
live the habitual
Thanks for
line
joining the
steppers.
combo. Yeah,
Just
thanks for
Sunday
joining the
music.
combo. Yep. Any given Sunday.
But y'all gonna have to accept. Y'all gonna have to certain things. Y'all just gonna have to accept and be able to navigate through it. That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's interesting because in the real world, you can't separate yourselves from females. You can't, and not in the real observable world.
Let me say this real quick.
I like to call it like double H. You have to be able to move through it.
Let me say this real quick, because my thing is, I look to see if she's really a part of the space. She is, because the men have justified her being a part of the space, but at least she's going. From what I've seen, because I don't watch her regularly like that. Not that I'm saying anything about her material. I just don't listen to a lot of women like that on certain things. But well, when I have time, I pick more men to listen to if I'm doing some listening. So
Nobody's giving me a reason to really look at her sideways.
No, I'm saying though, she does, to my understanding, she does actually go after women that are going after black men. So there's some positive there. If she's gonna be able to do something where she can check women or do something or give a counter message to the women who are going after black men, that may pay off in the long run.
Is she red pill?
Yeah.
Is she red pill?
I don't know about the.
I mean, you don't have to know, but
she absorbs
and she gonna flip flop.
She absorbs a lot of attention. She absorbs a lot of resources,
a lot of money,
and her presence perpetuates the gynocentric weakness amongst us.
Because she's beautiful.
But here's the problem.
She has this very pleasing female personality and voice and very seductive. And it's not a knock on her. It's more of what she is, the vulnerability.
It's a cultural resonance of Western
that
men.
she exposes amongst us. Her presence exposes the weakness and vulnerability.
But here's my problem.
Hold on. What I've been trying to say about the other dude, what I've been trying to say about the other dude that JX brings out is that this space is valuable, and what the other dude is saying right now, and she is a cloud chaser, there are individuals recognizing the monetary value on this space. And if you've seen how much she makes in 15 minutes, she is here for a specific goal, and it has nothing to do with the goals that we try to reach on.
Oh my God, Ramil does this. I'm not trying to pocket watch niggas, but Ramil pulls a lot of money too. There's a couple of dudes.
Is that a black man? Is that a black
man? But Ramil is ADOS, right?
My point is, you have what you can control and what you can't control. And the reality of the situation is, all you're gonna do is blow a gasket because, again, these dudes, like black men in this space, rejected MGTOW. They rejected it. We had that in 1.0 to 2.0. I'm not gonna use the FATIGUE bomb, but these niggas said no. We're not going that route. They don't care how loud. Hold on. Let me say this, and then I'll let y'all rock. We don't care how loud you get. We don't care what you saying. They hear you saying no pussy. You automatically in the homo card.
Wait a minute.
In a lot of these dudes.
Who's making?
But that's I'm just telling you, in this in this space, that's how they see it. And the fact that you still got these chicks that these dudes still listen to, they don't care. You can make the case, but I'm telling you, this case was made before, and we lost. They said no. They don't care. They will hear the conversation. But as far as you absolutely removing it, they don't care. Now, y'all want to still make the case.
Nobody is talking. Nobody. Look, we can't control what anybody does, Edward. We can't. The only thing the only point I'm making is that she represents a vulnerability amongst us, and the fact that she can garner the level of attention and absorb the level of resources disproportionate to that of other men. I would dare say wiser, more mature, more insightful, more valuable men in this environment is an indictment of the of the men overall in this environment. That's that. Now, can we stop her? Can we prevent? No, we can't do any of that, and we shouldn't even try to do that. But we should recognize it for what it is. She represents, unfortunately, the gynocentric weakness amongst black men.
And tomorrow, everybody gonna be different, have a different opinion, because there's a stream right now from somebody we all respect saying this very same thing. So all of us gonna be able to have a very different opinion tomorrow, because this delineation is being made. That's why I brought it up, and I wanted to bring up the fact that I was the one when I first came in here who called this out. Now I called this out because I go by energy, and when she was on the panel with Roger talking about weave and the way she talked about us, the way she reduced us to little porch monkeys, and when Roger makes a poignant point about weave being attached to psychological issues with the BW and had nothing to do with the black man, she said it's simple. It's very simple, you guys. I don't understand what's the problem. And she kept giggling and laughing. And people do that.
But she did say she show up on that panel for the drama,
do
though.
not sidestep that. Do not sidestep that.
No. You gotta look. When she was asked what she showed up there for,
issue and reducing a major
brother. When she was asked what she showed up there for, she said drama. She flat when Sister Toya asked her.
That's somebody else. That's somebody else.
Dude, it is not. That's like,
why are we giving her all these passes? Stop. Why
that's
are we
not
giving
a pass? That's not a pass.
Wait a minute. You're talking about two different people now. You're talking because you about to get confused.
Yeah,
because
one person's talking about Jessica X. The other person's talking about what happened on Hammer's panel earlier. Let's just go ahead and say what it is.
Not Hammer's.
Pretty cool.
He's talking about something that happened on. No, it wasn't Hammer's panel, because he's talking about something I was on last night. So he's not talking about Hammer's panel.
I'm talking about Art New Soul panel. Art New Soul panel that Roger was on, where he first talked about the psychological issues in the relation between weave and psychological issues, and he broke it down sequentially, and she kept saying how giggling and saying how simple it was, and black men need to just
bitches be bitches. Like dude, like there's like that stuff used to be, man. Roger, I remember just to show you how I identify what you're saying. Like Roger had a panel, and it was this bitch that I recognized the name. And that was my fault because I let it go. This is when I decided to be nice about it. And then she decided to, try to comment on my voice tone, modulation. Share with your guest. And I'm not gonna say what I would did had she said that, and I would have been she would have been in my presence. But my point was, I told Roger who she was, and Roger let it rock because I get it. And I didn't even realize. I ended up looking. I said, and then this bitch had the stream running, talking about, is Roger a real man in real time this year? And so, dude, I understand. You got women that they get their IQs go to 0. So as far as they're concerned, the very men that their relationship with black men is just so cracked out. It's really like David Carroll said. You should listen to David Carroll if you have it. It'll help you. And I listen to him. The black woman should be a mental illness, and when you understand that, you kind of are more on Roger's side as far as understanding you're dealing with a mental patient versus you're still giving them a lot of credit as far as they should come at you like they got some goddamn sense when 90% of them are mental.
I'm just saying she shouldn't be here. The mental patients shouldn't be allowed.
Yes, but the thing about it is, at the end of the day, everybody has a right to run their channel, and we said this already. The niggas that don't want bitches there, they need to network their channels and basically do it. Art of Igmore, Ramil, and I got a list of channels to where if I want to go where there's no bitches allowed, I know where they are. But like everybody gets so angry about everybody not fulfilling that policy, it's not gonna happen because like for instance, one of the reasons with Jessica X did some dudes even are cool with that is because like Black Guru may say what he's saying about real estate, but there's dudes that may go up there to even get some subscribership. You know, so but that's how they see it, and nothing you say is
Ed, let's bring it to the title.
Yeah.
Let's bring it to the title. She can't talk about the issues we talk about. She can only talk about the BW.
Like
she can only bring in the BW. And if we want to say that we're going to focus on the in group and on men and improving men, that's a man conversation. She can only bring in this BW contentious drama.
But wait,
That's-
but hold up,
then the
wait,
problem
dog.
is
You
the
gotta
problem
take
is
into consideration.
it can't be a public platform then. That's the problem.
Who is it that
Black
men is
men are gonna
talking
have to
about?
build private platforms.
Okay, well, you have to do that. But as far as it goes for the space and everything, you got to remember if brothers is speaking about sisters, you're gonna have some that you reach, and those that you reach should definitely have a space in the space, because or else you is just bitching for nothing.
Here we go. Hey, here we go. Real quick. Oliver the Great, thank you for the super chat. Go ahead.
Well, then also this is another thing too. See, what a lot of people don't. This is where black men start not really understanding strategic imagery. The reality of the situation is, if it's just we're all for men by black men, I'm sorry, dude. The majority of black people are just not going to accept that. It doesn't matter. And I'm talking about black men. Take the women off. It doesn't matter what you say. The majority of black men will not accept that. If they see all niggas talking about women and no women are even allowed to even comment on that at all, they gonna say something is wrong with you. You hate women. And we've been through that. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not sitting here saying a whole bunch of women need to be here. I understand the separation. That's why I always say that these lines need to be separated. And then if dudes want to go over there in certain channels, that can happen. Because Jessica X is kind of in the space, but she's really more what I call a manosphere adjacent channel, like Jada Black and stuff like that. She's not really all over all the panels. There's a couple. Hammer's relatively new, so she may be over there. She'll jump on fantastic stuff and maybe one other, but really that's it. Really, people are going to her shit. So it's not like she's constantly a staple on the major channels. And then what's happening is she's just absorbing people, like she's promoting it. Her shit blew up relatively kind of out of the blue, and that's on them niggas for doing that. But at the end of the day, even if she's not a part of this space, you got people like the Six Goddess. You got women like Danica Marie. These people had followings of a lot of black men, irregardless. Like Danica Marie's followings from Facebook, way before Obsidian brought her here. So it's not like these people are getting followings because we're just bringing them here and they're just cleaning the fuck up. These dudes are gonna find these bitches. Is basically what I'm saying. I'm not calling Jessica a bitch, but you get what I'm saying.
If the men are in the dominant position and the women come in and are a source of resource input for the benefit primarily of men, then I'm fine with that. But this business where a woman gets to come in and be the queen bee with a bunch of drone Negroes flapping about her and providing her with resources, I think you can't stop it. But you should acknowledge that's what's going on.
You sure acknowledge it, just like how I acknowledge that 80% of black people ain't gonna make it. I mean, you listen to BGS, you know what BGS says, it's already over. The stuff you saying is the lie. Like, for real though. Like, think about it. Like, Roger's talking about when dudes that can't even tell you if anything a woman does is wrong. Like, we got dudes that basically, as soon as he heard somebody was ADOS, he had a problem. He automatically detected the problem he had. Because as soon as he heard that tonality started to change. And then he started, why you ain't dealing with your... Like, I can see the program. Like, I don't want to say I'm Neo. I can see the gold code. I can see it. I saw it too. So all I'm saying is, this is a great time to be in this space because you have a lot more active movement right now. And you got to realize, like, for everybody that's here, y'all got to realize, I've been in this shit way before 2015. And a lot of the stuff was, we going to say, it's coming. And little things will happen, but not really anything that will happen. And if you come in this space in like the last, 3 years, you've seen a hell of a lot of movement.
Yes, and it's growing pains. It's growing pains right now, because what I hear is growing pains, and I respect everything you're saying, but I represent something new. And that's what that other guy's talking about right now. As he defines 4.0, you know what that told me? I'm 5.0 because I'm not the 4.0 cats. I'm not.
I mean, even you saying that is problematic.
No, Ed, something new is happening. Nameless is in the chat. I want him to come up. Something new is happening. The ripples that you are seeing is because the in group is forming. The brotherhood.
Every new person thinks that.
No, it's different now. It is different now. You didn't have. Because you have the Perfume Psalm, you have Kwame, you have money on this space.
Kwame ain't checking no bitch.
No, listen,
you saw how Kwame talked to Jamel Hill.
This is what I said. Ed, this is what I said last night. You have Manscaped, you have Sasquatch, you have products, and you have an algorithm being marketed to the manosphere. You did not have products.
Not the black manosphere, dog.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. That does matter.
Ourselves.
I'm an internet marketer, dude. I mean, those products always existed.
No,
and those are not enough. Like they're I mean, those products, those are not like I get what you're saying.
The difference is hold on. The difference is
I'm not gonna do this bring filler here. So
we're on the same side, bro. You making my point. We're on the same side. These people exist because of what I am saying, because of you and what you built. Now you can market this thing now. They had a list of you before. Then that list started making money. Now what Kwame is saying is real. You cannot quiet Kwame because the space is monetary and people are making money outside of us.
All right, so this is one of those things where time is just gonna have to tell, like, cause I get it. But this is one of those things where, we'll just have to see how things unfold.
No, what I'm saying, Ed, is where we are the painters and we are the gods and we are going to make it differently. We are terraforming the environment. BGS says something that is very true, that we have an environmental hurdle, an environmental issue. You know what we didn't have before, Ed? We didn't have YouTube and we didn't have black men with enough money to make quality content. There was a hurdle in not only the education with the computer, but there was a hurdle financially in people who can buy actual quality equipment to actually make quality content. That has changed for black men, and other communities of men are looking at us. That they've been waiting for us.
I mean, dude, like I appreciate the passion. I appreciate the passion.
More men
a lot, but we have groups before us, like the Black Panthers and even the early gangs that were created to protect black communities. The thing you have to understand with black people, I like, yes, I get annoyed with the slow shit. So yeah, I can get passionate, but understand I'm generally a more level-headed person. And the reason why I'm generally more level-headed, I try not to go high or go low, because that's something that will fuck black men up too. Because they start stepping on landmines. Like the thing about it is,
I need you, Ed. I need the balance.
Like there's been changes. And see, when shit, the reason why I'm kind of cautioning what you're saying, because the shit starts to go the way you don't like, I don't want you to start blowing a goddamn gasket, because it's a lot of volatility there, and people have this thing, they hold on to where they think it might go, and at the end of the day, we don't know. Like I said, Kwame Brown, he's saying a lot of shit, but and I understand why he said I thought the way he handled Jamel Hill was masterful, but a lot of dudes are like, well, you need to check her and da da da. It's like, it's passion, and it's like it's gonna bang, and I know how that goes with black men. But but at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know what you talk about as far as who said something. So we'll let time kind of tell because it always. Maybe I'm right.
Listen up, y'all. We didn't have Sheed on this panel for a while. He hadn't spoken yet. So what's going on? Sheed.
Making sandwiches.
Yeah, she making a sandwich. So while he making a sandwich, can I just say black men are gonna have to accept the responsibility that comes with the fact that because we are doing this internet thing, we are the world leaders.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? We're a world leader in a different way than your politicians or your what you call the people in royalty and things like. We're royal leader. I mean, we're world leaders in a different way. So my thing is we can't let certain ideas that, especially that won't get past the group, mess up the whole thing just because we have an issue with one particular person here or there. Because I get where you're coming from, Perfect. There's a lot of guys who feel like no women should be in the space, but as Black Guru is stating, we do have a bunch of men who are very matriarchal minded. And what Ed was trying to say is they're not going to accept a space with no women in it. So it's going to turn into a mute argument at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But that is somewhat of a weakness. If you just depends on your perception of it. But my thing is we need to learn how to use it all to benefit black men.
Okay.
Well, this is the concern. What if all of a sudden there are 5 Jessica X's or 10 or 15 or 20 that infiltrate this area? Then you got a whole different kind of message coming out of here. You know,
Well,
and the impression of what this is becomes something that we see over and over again, where black men create something great, you know, from and amongst themselves, and then the next thing you know, it gets distorted and turned into some more gynocentric bullshit.
I'll tell you what. God, that's one of the reasons that we keeping a list of the officially recognized channels, so that can't happen. So because we can't control what people gonna do on their own, we can't control people's talking points and things like that, but we can say who actually belongs to us. We can do that.
But see, this is the thing. I don't think we're taking into consideration the potency of the content coming from the space. All right, so you're gonna have so let's say, you know what I'm saying, the sisters that got the channels. Let's say, you know what I'm saying, let's say Kendra D next to blow up. You know what I'm talking about? But the thing is, she you know what I'm saying, red pill, you know what I'm saying, day one when she in or whatever. You know, what's to say the adequate level of effect or positive effect is supposed to have on actually, you know what I'm saying, possibly converting a little bit of that programming and drawing them. You know what I'm saying? That's
what happened to Ice Cube. I agree with you. I like the counsel. What happened to Ice Cube? I agree with you. What happened to Ice Cube?
And what movie?
Well,
what happened to Ice Cube on that?
Nothing actually happened to him. I get what you're talking about. When he was doing the contract with Black America, the women had a problem with it, and I totally get that. But this is the thing: nothing actually happened to him. But what we have to do, especially as black men, we got to continue to push down the direction we're going in. And as we continue to push down the direction that we're going in, and let's all face the fact that at least in America, when it comes to the black community, you know, you can argue it's gynocentric or matriarchal. You cannot argue there's patriarchy legitimately. So we're going to get a lot of pushback, and we're gonna have to fight through it. There's no way to get around that.
I just want to say I never said that I'm opposed to women in the space. I'm not making the rules. I was invited to the table, so I'm not saying I just was calling out that what's going on the other channel and the delineation in the space. And I noticed that energy when she was on the panel with you, Roger, and I noticed how much money she make, and I agree with Black Guru. But just because I'm calling out something and the energy that I feel, I'm not saying, I never said that I don't want women in the space. If you rewind this, I never said that I have a rule against that. I said I don't believe women should be on the panels, and I've said before that I think that we have a lot of work to do amongst ourselves before we bring women in the space. And I like what Nameless said and what the other African brother said, that it's part of their culture that they have these groups where the men are separate from women. What BGS said about environment is groups where the men are separate from women. I love women. I'm married. I have daughters. But Black Guru is the same thing. And he says it all the time. I'm getting to what the African brothers have. And what I said on my channel and what I hold in such high regard is that African brother talked about, and I thought about soccer. And he said how we have these groups growing up as children. He said, but what I revered so much is when I became 18, my father then included me in the groups with his uncles and with his father. He said that was the group I wanted to be part of. From people like me in the inner city, that's related to guns and dope, and when you get graduated like that. So I want a different type of graduation. It's happening, but I just want to change the dynamic of that graduation. That's all. And I'm running with what Nameless said. I'm running with Roger is doing. And I believe it could be done because we already do it. Roger said, I can't use the name of the people who did it, but there were people who did it, and there was little fifth graders doing the dances that they do. And there was little 5th graders wearing the same clothes that they wear because it was so infectious. And I'm saying that we can mimic that. It's been done before. It's not that far away. We are those gods.
Well, then there needs to be a council then. Then there needs to be a council.
Yeah. There should. Hey, you know what, Rogish? I do agree with you. There should be some kind of code established. But getting back to this Jessica X argument that we're having, I kind of agree with the notion. Well, it's not really a notion, but I do agree that the motherfuckers that do watch her are making the choice to go over there and watch her. And whether she's taking up real estate or not, what's going to have to happen is that we're just going to have to get our own weight up, and I mean, it's like,
we can't become women though, and here's the thing. Here's the thing, I mean, she's not, I don't get your weight up, you can't grow a vagina. You can't grow a British. You can't grow a British a posh British accent, and thousands of guys want to listen to you because they want to jerk off to your voice. So I mean, let's be honest about what's going on there. There's no great look. I respect her relative to what I've heard from other women. But let's be honest, women can attract attention because they just women, and guys want to fuck women, and so all I'm saying is, look, I don't want to give her any credibility or any equity based on anything other than the fact that she's a woman, and you got a bunch of hard up or matriarchal or gynocentric minded men in this environment, and those men, maybe they don't change their mind or maybe they don't change their behavior, but maybe they need to at least be acquainted with why they're doing what they're doing and what's the problem with that. Because to me, it's a problem to listen to her in lieu of listening to Roger.
Yes.
It's a problem to listen to her in lieu of listening to you, Kevin. It's a problem listening to her instead of listening to you, Perfect. That's a problem. And that's what men are doing.
Well, that is true. And I'm going to just tell you, honestly, this is my perception of it. Truth be told, I'm not losing any money because of her, because they won't go get it to me anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man. Them niggas was not finna pay me like that. You know what I'm saying? They gonna give me what they gonna give me. And I'm just saying me, but I mean any man in the space. There are some niggas that's gonna show up to give women money. That's just how it's always been. Now, my hope is that you know what I'm saying, since guys go over there so much, I'm hoping that guys will actually start hearing some of the other guys and start going to their channels, and she may be a gateway for certain men to start listening to the other men. That's what I'm hoping for, because you ain't gonna be able to, we can't get rid of them. The guys are gonna support her. That's just the way it is. And if you think about the community we come from, to me, does it makes perfect sense that she's out earning other people? To me, that absolutely does. Because I heard that. I've never sat through one of her streams to see like what type of bread she make. I did go over there when Sister George was on there one time. I went over there and I threw her a super chat, shouting out Sister George. So I ain't got no problem, no issue with it, but I didn't even stay in to see how much she really pulled. But I have heard men discussing how much money she makes. But my thing is, where do you think those guys coming from? What type of community are they coming out of? They want to give her money. That's just what it is. And there's a lot of single men that just want to give their money to a woman. So
it's kind of an OnlyFans effect. And that's fine. I just, to try to make her out to be anything other than some masturbatory material, I'm suspicious of that. And it's not an indictment of her quality or her message at all, as much as it is just the behavior and the character of many of the men, maybe not all of them, but many of the men who support her. And like I said, you can't stop people from doing whatever they want to do, spending or supporting
No.
anything they want to suspend and support. But we should acknowledge that is a representation of weakness amongst us as black men as a whole.
And all I'm saying is a lot of the men that come to her space first may not be actual hardcore Black Manosphere people. She's probably bringing in a new crop of people because of how men are. So that's why I'm saying hopefully she get those other men in front of the join the panel, and then they start taking some of those guys and bring them into some other areas too. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, Black Rule, she you know what I'm saying, she puts up nice pictures. I get it. She got that accent. I get it. Niggas are gonna go because that's what people do. I seen a woman. I mentioned this before on somebody else's channel. I saw a woman who's a nice looking woman. She said something about it took her like a month to get 1,000 subscribers. She was like, "Whoa, it took. I'm glad I got my 1,000 subscribers. That was a lot of hard work. It took me like a month." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how long it takes for men to build up 1,000 subscribers.
Hey, look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something real quick. Let me tell you something. I started this channel in February of 2018. July of 2020 is when I reached 1,000.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, should it have taken that long? My answer, shockingly, is yes. It should have taken that long because I was not consistent.
So
I own my
and you don't have nice cleavage. I mean, let's be honest. You got a lot of women. You look at the account. Women, they'll take material created by men, or championed by men, basically verbatim, recite the same shit without any real depth or real understanding of what they're talking about. And they end up with 10, 15, 20 times the number of subscribers and views. I make a point to avoid listening to female content and social media because they have so disproportionately greater attention than men do. So I actually make a point of avoiding supporting a lot of female media. And I think black men in general should do the same. I said this before when I said this on your channel a while back, Roger. Men need to really start to inventory all the resources that they give to women, include the attention and the subscribership and all of that shit they give to women. We just give shit to them for free. They don't do a damn thing to earn it. Y'all just give every goddamn thing to them and then wonder why you can't have any control over their ass.
Let's say a scenario like this. Let's say a scenario like this into where Raj got his channel and Raj put, his truth and his ideology out there, and it just start linking with sisters, right? So let's say that it links with what's that sister name? Cat. That fine motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now let's just say she sprouts that red pill.
You can just saw something.
So say that she gets dipped in the report sauce. You know what I'm saying? Becomes, reborn anew and wishes to spread the gospel. You know what I'm saying? Now that fine motherfucker is gonna pull 10,000 in the first month. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, she's 100.
Roger be the first one to give a super chat.
Hey, I don't have the fact that I like the way she looked, built, and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let me take things in a different direction because Black Uru kind of said something here, like. And I saw something in the chat by Shaka Nulu. Shout out, brother, by the way. He says, men don't promote other men too. Now, I'm not going to say this content creator's name, but this content creator will scream Black Manosphere. But when he mentions names, it's always guys that already got a sub count, already got a large sub count, already got a large following. The newer guys coming in basically have to scrape and claw to get theirs, and they have to do it any way they can. And the bigger guy, he even will go as far as to call guys who don't do edited videos, the guys that don't have the resources for production, even though the guys who, a lot of the guys that do StreamYard have good messages and good streams and great discussions. This guy will say that they're struggling and they don't care about the business, which I don't fucking get, because you have to start somewhere. That person started somewhere. All of the big content creators started somewhere. So why are you dissing other brothers instead of promoting other brothers? I mean, I do often say something like the words that I'm going to go ahead and say that Edward Anderson brought to the space. And I do believe that this is very prevalent. Highlander complex. Like the content creator mentions people that he doesn't have to do anything for. I mean, and he doesn't, and don't get me wrong, bigger content creators, they don't owe us shit. They don't owe us anything. They don't owe us any promotion. They don't owe us a shout out. They don't owe us anything. But the mere fact that on top of not owing us anything, that they'll turn around and say guys are just starting out, oh, you can get, if you got a cell phone, you can just start up a StreamYard and get started a YouTube channel. Now, it's like you have no fucking right to try to put people like that in a category, because they, like I said, they got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And I mean, and I'm still a relatively small channel. Am I shitty to content creators that are smaller than me? No, I'm not. If you're courteous enough, you come over here, I'm just getting started. I mean, like I would even say, hey, you know what? I'll help you grow. One of those backfired, and a few people know who that person is. But I mean, for the most part, I don't bitch about other guys, like, I mean, promoting other people. It's just like this. If I promote you and you're better than me, then guess what? That probably is my issue. I don't want to like don't get me wrong, I'm not here to promote others. I don't mind doing it, but I'm not here to promote others. But I want to help brothers out. And even if that person grows past me, you still don't owe me anything, because it's just the principle of it. It's about helping each other out. But sooner or later, that shit's going to get old and tired about this whole brothers not promoting brothers thing. Like this shit, I mean, saying that shit to me is just kind of ridiculous. You don't owe anybody anything.
I don't know what he's talking about. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. Roger has deferred to me. Kev, you have deferred to me. Rogish has joined my panel when I've been zero in the box. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. I don't know what that's about right there. I was depressed. People cheer me up. I don't know what that's about. I found a brotherhood. I was arrogant about my message. I think people just looking for the wrong thing. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. So thank you, Kev. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Rogish. Thank you, Black Uru. I feel extremely blessed to be on this panel amongst you brothers right now. I don't know what's that about. You guys see my stream. I'm jumping and dancing. I'm happy as could be. I'm like a pig and shit. Thank you.
Okay, brother. Okay, brother.
I know what he's talking. I know what Kev is talking about, and this is the thing. There certain dynamics are going to change. And more promotion will happen, because the habitual line step is going to promote other people. People going to watch us promote other people, and they're going to start doing it too. We're going to continue to set trends, because the space will be led by somebody or a certain team of people. And I'm not trying to say I'm quote unquote the leader of the space, so it's my team that's going to lead the space. All I'm doing is I'm going to make sure I'm doing my part to help help have good examles. Kevin, you gonna do your part to help good examples. We're gonna change things.
Let me say this. Aside from the space itself, we the habitual line steppers, we do believe in community amongst our people. So it's like the habitual line steppers is 5 of us, but at the same time, we could be a movement within itself. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, although we are a part of the Black Manosphere, we are kind of different from a lot of the other guys who run spaces. You know, and that's just not just me talking. I'm hearing this more and more and more, like in comments, in the feedback I get in comments. I mean, we're doing something right over here. We are. So I don't mind. I don't mind that because it's like but what I'm saying is this is like, okay, if somebody doesn't do it, someone else will. Okay, you can stand on atop your mountain all day, all night, thinking you're king shit, thinking, but if you don't have the force behind that shit, dude, you're gonna fizzle down one day, and you're gonna be an afterthought. You know, the best course. What? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that, but that's why it's a beautiful thing. As new people come in, you have new ideas. You do things. Some things can change and they can improve. I'm not gonna even say change altogether. They can improve, and you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna shout down the people that built something before we got here, but you know, it everybody who comes in, it's our job to make it better. That's what we're supposed to do. So we just gonna take what's already here and do our part to make it better, and hopefully those coming behind us will do their part to make it better. So I'm a view it like that, and we gonna dispel some of the stuff. The one thing I can't stand is people saying black men can't work together, because I believe we can. So I'm not gonna push into that narrative that we can't work together, because I believe we can. We always have worked together, and it's just that when we work together, we get better stuff happening. But we keep talking about it. Well, no, we can't work. Yeah, we can. We just gotta want to at the end of the day. But and I think you know, it goes. If anything, to me, that goes to where your bashing thing comes from. Black men get bashed. I don't see everybody else getting bashed in the real world. You know what I'm saying? I see us trying to make stuff happen, and people talk down about us, or they down our ideas, or they try to make us. They do what they can to try to make us feel like we insignificant or something like that. So I do believe the habitual line step is going to have a great part in this black manosphere. I do actually believe in the black manosphere, and I literally think we are some of the thought leaders of the world. And right now, we probably some of the main thought leaders of the world, because everybody copies American culture, to my understanding about what goes out into the rest of the world, or a good part of the world. I ain't gonna say everybody, because nothing includes everybody, but a good portion of the people out there copy American culture, and we set the tone for American culture.
Facts.
Facts.
Well, shout out to Louis Conyer in the chat. What up from New? He said, "What's up, room from Newark? We got Newark, New Jersey in the house." All right, thanks for joining us. And for those of you who haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and also hit that like button. And let me go ahead and just say this real quick, because I haven't said it since the beginning of the broadcast. Long live the habitual line steppers.
Long
Okay.
live.
Yeah. Anyway, why Skinner? What's going on? You hadn't spoken in a minute.
On the Jessica X thing, I think she's doing a good job. Is she a woman? Yes. Is she beautiful? Yes. I noticed that she followed a lot of the points that Kevin Samuel says, and I think she's learned a lot from Kevin Samuel. But my thing is, at this point, when I'm promoting someone or I'm giving super chats, I try to look at people who probably need the super chats more than others. You know, if you don't have many subscribers and you just getting started and you have some good talking points, then I may give you a super chat because I want to help you out. I want to help you build. I mean, to me, I don't see no reason right now for me to give Kevin Sample a lot of super chats. You know, I mean, I love the guy. I mean, Dak doing a great job. I like what he's doing. But you know, that's why I'm where I am. That's why I'm here. And that's why I come here to Kev's channel. I want to help him out. That's why I give Rod the super chats. I want to help him out.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
and I want to say,
I give Jessica X super chats every now and then.
there's nothing
Concrete,
wrong with supporting
yeah,
your favorite content creators. I
right.
mean,
That's what I do. I want to help the ones that need a little boost. You know, a guy making $100,000 a month. Why should I be over there giving him super chat? I'm not no high value man.
So I got a question then in this regard.
And don't ever say that you're not a high value man. I mean, maybe by societal standard, but you're valuable to someone, man, for real.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm talking financial. You know, I don't make $100,000 a year, so that's
high quality men. That's what I'm bringing out this week. High quality men. Y'all stay tuned for that. Hashtag HQM high quality men. I'm bringing that out next week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and hey, shout out to Black Guru. I see he dropped off. I just wanted to thank him for coming by. Also, Hybrid Impact 83. Thank you for coming by. Edward Anderson. Thank you for dropping your thoughts, sir. Quite. Yeah, that was some excitement for a little bit. So,
all right. As usual.
Right. Yeah. So my question is, how potent is the truth not permitted to be? The truth of the space, because if you know what I'm saying, if it hits, and it's gonna convert folks. You know what I'm talking about? And let's say it converts, you know what I'm saying, someone who originally wasn't of the principles, and then they feel like they get charged with it and wish to, you know what I'm saying, dispel the ideology themselves. That's the thing. It's like how can you stop it from reaching too well? Because it seems like that's the only thing that could occur for a situation where, you know what I'm saying, women ain't permitted to get too much I guess prestige in this or whatever.
Well, you know, I think it's just a difficulty with black men because, you know, a lot of black men have been trained to see women as the leader, not just a leader, but the leader. So a lot of black men will gravitate toward women to say she must lead, she must be in charge, and that has not worked out well for us here in America. It just ain't done that. So yeah, I don't have no issues with women either. But I think if we as the men continue to control who officially is in the space, I personally think it matters. You know what I'm saying? And I think if the more we push it, the more that other people will take it seriously, it'll cut out a lot of BS anyway. Because we need to say who was amongst us and who was not.
I mean, in a perfect world, I would like to see a little bit more unity, but you know, what we're seeing a lot of at this point is a lot of dissenting opinions, and I did, I knew exactly who Perfect Timing was talking about earlier. So I mean, whatever to that guy. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like I don't know. You know how a firecracker burns and then it fizzles down? You know, like not the popping kind, but like one of those shooting sparkly kinds. Like that's why I feel about that person. Like first they sparkled for a second, and now that the sparkle is gone, it's just like they're fucking flipping out right now when they don't really fucking need it. You know, so I mean, shit. So your time is coming, motherfucker, because like honestly, like everybody always says like all this female support, we simping and everything, but we got a female on our team. You know, I got a lot of respect for her, and there are a few people that like to throw shots. Now, you know, the only reason I really haven't said anything about anyone saying anything about Sister Georgia is It's two reasons. Number one, Sister George can pretty much handle herself. Number two, her train ain't getting derailed anytime soon. So I mean, so Black Guru has a very strong point. When you have a pleasant voice, tits and ass, that works. It is what it is.
Surprisingly.
Yeah,
They got a whole lot of men in trouble.
And again, I just like to say, I love women. I have nothing against women. I love and respect women and godly women. I don't think Roger would accept me into his space if I had a problem with women. And Roger has checked me a lot on my issues with Black women specifically, and helping me understand, because a lot of times people they think it's impossible. I think they get upset because they think it's a fantasy that he has, and he's helped me understand that I don't think you can follow Roger and not understand. Even Black Guru says it all the time, like, I don't believe it, but I still support you, Roger. Roger has helped me with my belief and with my issues, and had me focus on the title tonight, that Dennis, it's about you and us men uplifting men. And I got that. And if we do that, then we can get them in the end. And that's his greatest goal. And I don't think people listen close enough. They don't listen close enough. And if you point the finger at us and think that we are pointing the finger at them, then you're not listening. Because I was checked, and I would not be here if I could not have been corrected. And I was put in my place, and now we building, we growing.
Well, I'm just gonna say that even when we come into the space, we all don't come in with the same mindset. We don't come at the same level. I'm just trying to give certain people room enough to some people got to catch up, and there's people who's past me in certain areas, but you know what I'm saying, there's certain general areas that some brothers just got to catch up. And I'm not gonna. I'm trying to give them room to catch up. I'm gonna say it like that, because there's certain stuff that they don't see that I see, but I'm pretty sure in another context or another area they'll be able to see something that I don't see. So I'm just trying to give these brothers some time to catch up. That's all. And we just gotta accept that our brothers, they do come from a mainly woman-led life. Okay. In the Black community, you're mainly led by women, and you're made to see women as being in charge. And that's hard for a lot of people to break after. That's what they've been dealing with their entire life, and they made it into their 20s or their 30s or 40s or whatever the case before they even really start to pay attention to it. Luckily for me, I started looking at certain things early, and a lot of myths, that whole sugar and spice and everything nice. I knew that was a lie as a child. A lot of men that ain't came to that conclusion as adults. And that's just
Let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about moving your show to later in the evening, like 6, 7 o'clock, close to that prime time area?
Honestly, I got so much going on that it just wouldn't really work out for me at this particular point, because it's you know what I'm saying. I mean, I got money to make. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I kind of figured you may have had something going during that time.
Yeah, and I try to participate with a few people here or there, and add to a panel here and there. But I be having way too much to guarantee that I'm gonna put a show on at that time every day. But I mean, who knows what's gonna happen in the future. And when I used to do more, because I actually did more stuff at night, but it was harder for me to be consistent at night. So, and even when I was gonna say this earlier, even when it comes to building up a channel, when I was decided to just start doing certain things in the morning to make it a little bit easier to actually focus on putting the show out. Now I started that August 20th of last year. Now I probably had about 150, 200 people already subscribed, because that's after my first channel had already took a hit, and I was kind of bouncing between both channels. And it still took me to like December 7th to finally hit 1,000. And that's after going at least Monday through Friday. And it was a whole lot of, there was some Saturday shows in there, and there was a whole lot of Sunday shows in there too. So, when I see a woman, especially an attractive woman, especially like the one I have in mind, who say, "Whoa, it took so much work," and you had 1,000 subscribers in a month. You know what I'm saying? I accept that women are going to get attention that men just can't get. It's just, you have to put out a better product, higher quality, It's something about your stuff that just got to be higher than theirs. You gotta be able to beat them, and you still ain't gonna necessarily garner that attention because they still a woman at the end of the day. So my
And
thing
also,
is, I don't. Oh, go ahead. Go. My bad, kid. Go ahead.
no. Let me say this real quick. A lot of you out there, you got to stop complaining about audience size. Now, I'm not saying that anyone local to us do it. You know, I've heard a few content creators do it, complain about audience size. But guess what you're doing when you do that? You disregard the people who are already there watching you, and that is not good. That is not cool. And if your audience is smart enough to figure it out, which I believe my audience would be smart enough to figure it out if I were to be the one who would become a panty waste and start crying about what I don't have, then it's going to be very bad for this channel. You know, so that's just the thing. I don't like to disregard the people who are watching, because then it just then you devalue that, and then would you, in theory or in any kind of way, deserve a bigger audience? You know, I mean, then that'll be up to the audience that you're already kind of screwed around with. So I just don't like the whole complaining about audience size. I mean, I have no doubts this audience will get bigger and will get better. I mean, I do appreciate the people that do watch, because guess what? You probably had something else that you could have been doing, but you decided to come here instead. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you to all of you.
You
I want to say something, but I want you to go ahead and read that super chat first.
Yeah, yes. Let me read that super chat. Yes, it is.
That's one hell of a super chat right there.
All right. Gail Gami, thank you for the super chat. And he says, the most important sentence in social media: long live the habitual line steppers.
Ooh,
They do got a ring
man's
to it.
genius.
They do
That
got a
man's
ring to
genius. I'm saying.
Yes, that's yeah.
Yo,
That's,
bro, back
you
to
have
what you were
no
saying.
argument for me.
You said panty waist, bro. You said panty waist. I'm like, damn, yo, how old are you?
Telling your age on that. Showing your age on that one.
Yeah.
Leaving the beaver shit, dog. Don't be a panty waist. You know what I'm saying? One of this.
But you know, let me say this too about audience size too. Now this is the thing, and I don't make no qualms about it. Okay, and I know Kev gonna say what he gonna say. I'm gonna give you room to say what you gonna say, Kev. Too.
Hey, I'm not gonna be picked on this panel for my.
No. I ain't gonna say nothing about you. No, it ain't about that. I'm gonna say something, and Kev gonna throw his little thing in there. And I'm gonna give him room to say it. Now, what I do personally, I just simply put on the best show on social media. I was giving you that gap, Kev, so you can do what you was gonna do.
Monday through Friday morning, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. You know.
Now that's what I decided to do. I'm gonna just put out the best show on social media.
That's a matter of opinion. You know,
right? And anybody with the right opinion knows I have the best show.
Hey, you know what though? But let's be real for a second. Let's be serious for a second. If you don't believe in yourself, who will?
Right.
Oh, fine.
There you go. Right. There you go.
If you don't believe in yourself, who will?
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the quality of my content, and I don't want to say nothing bad about other folks because that ain't what I'm into. But there has been times that I would go listen to my own replays rather than hear somebody else's new stuff. so
I mean, well,
what? That's done to yourself, isn't it?
No, hey, no, it's a lot of great information on my stuff. So it's you know, as they say, iron sharpens iron. So sometimes you want to go back and listen to your old stuff and see what you're doing, what you had, what's been missed, what you what the people need to get that you didn't necessarily get out there. You know, there is some benefit to it. But on a serious note, though, 100% serious note, I honestly believe that the smarter, greater people will come to my channel. You see what I'm saying? People gonna watch stuff, and I get that. People gonna it's folks out there that got millions of subscribers and all that type of stuff. If black people who my message resonate with, they gonna come find my channel, because I got folks finding my channel and they like the content and they not black at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm already an international person. You see what I'm saying? I got folks in different parts of Africa watching me. I got folks in China watching me. I got folks in Canada watching me. I got folks in the UK watching me. So I'm already international. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I'm not gonna look down at what I have, because the audience that I need to reach, God's sending them to me, or He's sending me to them, however a person wants to see it. So I'm going to get the right audience, because I honestly believe, with the caliber of people who come to my show, the caliber of people who want the habitual line type of shows, you know what I'm saying? Because me and Kev gonna share some of the same people. Donnie gonna share some of the same people with us, and even Sister Joy gonna share some of the same people with us. And we gonna start having Darth Skater 7 share some of the same people with us. Man, we are getting people that are about something. We ain't just getting anybody. And I honestly believe that if a person don't want to step their game up, they're gonna feel some type of way about our show, which is why I think we get some of the pushbacks that we get, and it's okay. Because nobody was there when we were born. We all had to get to where we are, you know. So sometimes it just takes some other folks a little bit longer to get to where we need to be. But I think if they're actually coming to my content and actually holding, you know what I'm saying, that says something great about that person. If you come over to Black Men Being Brutally Honest and you actually stick with it, that says something great about you. Because we out here pushing some serious stuff, and we examining things at a high level, in my opinion. You know, even with this bashing thing, and how I just already discounted, like, hey, you know, where can you really bash a black woman? Because it's not really allowed on social media. So yeah, they say it, but it ain't even really allowed. So how much bashing can even be done from a realistic aspect? Not much. Not much.
There you go. There you go, right there. Counter.
Yep. You see what I'm saying? So now our audience may not be as big as other people, but that don't mean it won't be. You know, just give them a chance to find us. That's how I'm taking it. Give them a chance to find us. They'll find us, because if you like good content, you're going to find us.
Fact.
Okay. Well, all right, guys. Shit, I got to hit the road in like an hour. It's like, shit, I'm in trouble.
Let me be the first to mash out then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, let's go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. It's been a really good show.
One more clap.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Rogish.
Long live the Bishop Line Steppers.
Long live
for the hospitality. As far as it goes for bashing black women, it's interesting, because that's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you're just speaking, you know what I'm saying, their truth to light, and it's not something that they're too accustomed to. But for those of them who do get accustomed to it and they do make the change, and an aspect to how the space approaches engaging, you know what I'm saying, certain historical frictions with sisters, be it relationship or their allyship to the pilgrim sector or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Though if there is ground gained through the ideology breaking forth through the programming, I think it's only fair that you know what I'm saying, you permit one to be able to go about that journey with a little bit of guidance from where the source of the ideology from. But in that, there definitely needs to be a council then, if there's to be, you know what I'm saying, some stricter regulations. And really, I think that there already should have been. But on that note, you know what I'm saying, y'all take care of yourselves, y'all stay safe, and as always, don't get that motherfucking vaccine. Holla.
Hey, I agree with y'all. I agree with you on that.
All right, Rogish,
all right, I like to close.
Yeah, All right. Well, I was gonna say, thanks for coming by, Rogish, and be sure, just like with everyone out there, have a safe week. You out there, brother. So go ahead, perfect time.
I just like to say, outside of Roger, I feel like I had the best content on YouTube and on social media. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the Perfect Timing Podcast. My name is Big D Rance. Shout out to the habitual line steppers and the Chi-Town Chicago fans, even though they are player haters at heart because they can't win. Roger said the other day, yeah, did you know Roger said he's gonna live to be 100? Y'all say he might need to, you know what I'm saying? But it's okay though.
Oh, that was dirty. That was dirty.
I just want to say, as far as the title tonight, it was an excellent title because the separation is happening, and I see everybody upset, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy you mad. I am you. If you ain't seen my content, you ain't seen my Kool-Aid grin. I want you to know how happy I am that you are upset. If you don't know, I am ecstatic. I'm doing backflips on my channel, and I am happy that you upset. You feel some type of way. Please feel some type of way. Please, because this table is where it's at. I said the other day, what's happening, what Roger just said is the conversation that he has put together, and Kev is a part of that, including me in, if people are recognizing that if you're not part of this conversation, then you are not having the conversation. It's becoming evident. If you social scholars, PhDs, everyone is recognizing if you're not at this table having this conversation, then you talking about bullshit. And people feeling a certain way about that. So they're trying to create a conversation that is as relevant, but it's organic. This was meant to be. That's why I love Ed, and that's why I'm glad Ed was here with me so we could bring brothers like that along, because I need that balance and they need to understand, because I could feel in this tone as he left that he felt, you know what? I felt something was moving and changing. And I may have heard about this brother because Roger has elevated my voice. If you hear my voice, it's because these brothers elevated my voice. And I know they coming because Roger elevated my voice. And I know I heard it in his tone. They know something is happening, but he wasn't sure till he was on the panel with me. And now you know, okay, we moving like this. And there's something about these Chicago brothers who know how to put together an organization and know how to put people in a particular position. Y'all should be scared and y'all should be understanding that we happy, man. And this ain't something you could stop because it ain't something that was put together. It happened. I didn't call Roger. Roger don't know me. I don't know Kev. It's something else working. Kwame is riding a wave. Y'all need to wake up and recognize when I'm talking about these products and this algorithm, I'm trying to tell you that someone else has already recognized this wave. People are capitalizing and riding this wave. It's a magical thing. It's the same thing that Michael Jackson created with the Jackson 5. It's a wave. And you could come behind that with a 5-person group, with a 4-person group. You could be purple, green, red, or blue. But you're going to capitalize because of the Jacksons. But you're going to be an imitation. You will never be Michael. I'm going to end on that.
I was going to say, if you keep going on, I'm going to mistake you from Ed Anderson.
Okay. But let me say this real quick. Perfect Timing Podcast, hosted by Big D Rance. Thank you for the Cash App. I just saw it. So really appreciate you supporting the channel. And you know what? Come back anytime, brother. I mean, your passion is appreciated. Trust me on that. All right. Now, Y Skinner or Roger, whichever one y'all want to go first.
As far as the bashing thing, the heck with that. I don't even need to hear anything else about that. That's just BS. The heck with that. Why ain't you spending more time on it? But as far as some of the women, around in the space, I think if you know what you're talking about and you have the right talking points and you defend it, I'm okay with it. Bring it on. If you're talking like we talking tonight and you defending the things you're supposed to be defending, hey, okay, I'm all right. even though you may be beautiful and all that shit, but still, just follow us. I guess guess I put it that way. Follow us.
There you go.
But thanks, Kev, for having me.
Okay.
This is
All
my,
right.
this is my favorite channel. I like you too, Roger, but
and I like you too, Washington, man.
and that is perfectly okay.
Hey, Washington, man, keep in mind you still in the fold, so I ain't got no problem with that.
Yeah, but you know what though? It, like I said, it's really humbling knowing that you are somebody's favorite channel. Is this for real? That's really I mean, I had people say that they like this channel, they like coming to the channel, but as far as being a favorite channel, yes, sir. That distinguishment, at least you're one of the first ones to say it. If I don't remember if someone else said it, I do apologize, but it's I feel like it's something I'm gonna start hearing more often. So I appreciate that. That compliment is worth its weight in gold. So
you welcome. You welcome, and I'm gone.
And
all right,
man,
and have a good week, man.
What you say, Roger?
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, I definitely appreciate you too, brother. You're definitely a good brother, and I ain't got to be your favorite channel, okay? I ain't got to be, but I appreciate you just the same. I appreciate you just the same. And that's real talk.
And tomorrow you might see some super chats, so
Okay, I appreciate that too. Anytime that happens, I definitely appreciate that too. But yeah, we definitely appreciate you, Washington, man, and that's real talk. We love the people who go to multiple channels of ours, so we definitely appreciate you, man. Much love to you.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Washington, and you have a good week, man.
All right,
have a good week.
All right.
All right. Shout out to Son is Hot Rock for that statement. I appreciate that, brother. What can I say to end the show off properly? When it comes to this bashing thing, no, I just don't see it as a problem. I really don't. And for the women who are so concerned about men that they feel are bashing them, man, just stop watching their channel. That's my advice to them. Shout out to Anthony Drossers just because he made that statement about being from Brampton, Ontario, Canada. When we was talking about when I was saying something about having a worldwide audience, and that was just right on time. So shout out to you, brother. But real talk, anytime women are saying this stuff about men, especially black men, are bashing them, come on now. In the social media world, we're not really even allowed to bash women on certain platforms. You say one wrong thing when you black, and the wrong thing for us can be the right thing for everybody else, and your stuff comes down. So they're too protected for me to take the bashing thing as a serious thing amongst the community. You could say one particular person bashed you as a woman. I get that. But to say that there's droves of men out here, or there's anywhere near a majority of men out here bashing black women, and you're talking about black men, you got to be smoking something. You got to be. I just can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't legitimately come to that conclusion. Anybody can come to it, but you can't legitimately come to that conclusion. So keep doing your thing, Kel. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate coming to your channel. Appreciate being on Any Given Sunday. I will see y'all tomorrow. And for those in my audience, I got to really figure out something because I forgot to. I was not thinking about the fact that tomorrow is a holiday. Maybe I will do an evening show. I don't know, but I might still do it in the morning, knowing me. So I'm gonna have to work something out because I forgot tomorrow is the holiday because I be working so much. But I see you, Kev, and I'll holler at you a little bit later for sure. But thank you to the audience. We appreciate all y'all. Long live the habitual line steppers.
Long live. And Roger's we've been rolling since the beginning. When there was, speaking of audience size, when there was only like 0 to 5 people watching. So that's my brother right there. You best believe that. But let's get to the let's get back to the original topic, and shout out to Alonzo Hall, Alongo Savage. I see you down there. I just don't think that black men are just really bashing black women. I just don't think it's that way. Is all if you peel your eyes and your eyesight. If you peel your eyelids, I said that totally wrong, and see what's actually going on. Okay, let me put it to you like this. I could describe when I first came to Facebook. It was just kind of a place where I was just finding friends and school classmates that people I went to school with basically were my first friends list, and people were from my hometown. And I started joining Facebook groups. First Facebook group I joined was called 1 Million Positive Black Men. And to Black Guru's point, black men really don't, like, I wouldn't say they don't support, they're just not as psyched up or as enthused about some kind of, black male conglomerate. So a positive black male space is that, like, one without, I would say, controversy and dissenting opinions. It's not going to appeal to people. And I discovered it with that group because even though there were at least 75 to 100 to 8,000 members, no one ever engaged. So I don't know. And my biggest problem up until the point where I really started joining other Facebook groups was, little race, but, people with their political racism and, pushing back on things like, police killing us and everything. I usually dealt with other races on that. But I never thought that black men holistically were bashing black women. The one guy that I used to, there was one guy that was really controversial at the time in the YouTube streets. And like that was Tommy Sotomayor, but I would never have accepted him as an example about all these men, all these black men out here bashing black women. Oh my God, the sisters, the words are chasing them down and beating them up. I just can't believe it. Never saw it as such. I always saw like Tommy as a reaction to the treatment that black men were already getting nationwide and worldwide. And throughout the mainstream media, in particularly perpetrated by black women who were given platforms by the WS media. So it was never really to me that the black women were getting bashed. It was to me that the brothers were always, like black men in particular, was always getting thrown under the bus. So when I started joining the other Facebook groups, I would always see this. I would always see this one thing. I would always see a post of a black female saying that all these brothers are in here bashing all of these black women. But I was like, okay. So I started scrolling down the wall. Then there was another post. All these brothers in here doing the bashing black. Then I scroll another, and then the posts all like they would be from different people, but it was just saying all similar shit. Like it was just, oh my God, it's just like all these brothers around here. And then when I scroll down the wall to see what brothers were doing it was always like the same two guys. Now, when the women said, like, the magnetic personalities of the women, every time they said something stupid, they always had a bunch of guys come to the post. The fuck you talking about? You're blah 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 blah. They garner that negative attention, and that's what works for them. But they all, at the same time, they always playing victim. They shitting on the brothers, and they always playing victim. I'm not saying that the brothers got to go tit for tat with them, because I do believe that's one of our mistakes. If you believe that they are on sort of a lower level or lower vibrational frequency, then you shouldn't try to get lower with them. For the most part, guys in this space, in the black manosphere, can outsmart that easily. They can outsmart that. But it's kind of like Black Guru said, you can't get past a cute face and a pair of boobs and a vagina. So a lot of brothers are gonna roll with that mindset. They're gonna roll with that. These brothers are losers. They don't know how to talk to women. They're gonna come with all the shaming tactics and everything, just because one female said that there was all these brothers out here who were bashing black women. And I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They full of shit, and I can clearly see they full of shit. It's not a fair assessment at all. I mean, life isn't fair, so fuck that. I get that. But still, when you're making the decision to spread some misinformation, then yes, you are full of shit. And you're not being fair. But my job ain't to victimize myself. My job ain't to sit up there and just say, oh my God, I just wish they were stopped. Because just like, people who believe in WS and races and stuff, I want these people to expose themselves. I want these simps to expose themselves. I want these bitter ass women to expose themselves. I want to know who you are, period. I want to know what I'm dealing with. It makes it easier, and it makes it easier for any black man to know what he's dealing with. That's how we survive, friend or foe. and a lot of y'all are establishing yourselves as foes. I mean, you try to gaslight and say, hey, you know what? I'm just trolling. It's just entertainment. But some of the trash you say is what's really getting it out there, that this thing might actually, we might actually be beyond hope on this thing, but it doesn't, as black men, I'm just saying that we shouldn't give up. We shouldn't give up. I mean, we just shouldn't. We should always push for a better culture for ourselves. I mean, if the women want to come along, that's fine. If you're a heterosexual man, you're gonna want women along there. Let's just keep it real. You're gonna want women included. As far as the power you give them, however, that's a totally different story. I don't know where niggas like Dwayne Wade coming from with they shit. but anyway, I'm done here. It's been a great show. I might actually bring you an extra show this week, and that's probably going to be just because I missed Saturday, because I like having these shows, and I like having mature dialogue too. And wherever the audience is right now, I would say probably in the near future, get ready to meet some new people. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that does not go on with black men for real, at seemingly increasingly and alarming rates, is the bashing of black women. And the main reason why that is going on is, no, it's not allowed. But at the same time, who's trying to silence black women? Who is out there silencing black women and telling them that they cannot have their opinion, that they cannot speak, that you will be oppressed, that your opinion won't matter? Well, a lot of y'all opinion don't matter anyway. So, but still, who is out there trying to stop? What large conglomerate of black men are trying to stop black women from doing anything? Ain't none in existence. We were raised by these women. Why do we want to stop them from doing anything? But let some of these bitter ass sisterhood, single momming, or can't get a man bitches tell it, hell, we're the problem. We're just bashing them. So don't believe that bullshit. It's ridiculous. And you know what? And if anyone disagrees, hey, you know what? Put it in the comment section. Because right here, right now, I'm done. And I will see most of you next week, if not all of you, and even more of you, and some new faces, some old faces, some current faces. But if you've been tuning in to this program every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, whenever I am on, granted that there's not some, family event like a birthday or just a visit or some stuff like that, family time, I will be here, and I will appreciate seeing you. And I will not take you for granted. The habitual line steppers will not take you for granted. So on that note, black men, bash protecting black women is not a real issue. You know why? Because despite all of this so-called, all this so-called gender war, this so-called this separation, the divest movement, and the brothers who want to date who they want to date, and I have nothing against that. But overall, I believe that, and I myself believe this. Yeah. Well, I just said something twice. Yeah, I am getting sleepy. Black women, we still love you. We honestly do. We still care about you. And if we didn't care about you, we'll just let you fuck yourself. So, there. All right, I'm done. Long live the habitual line steppers. And Kev, we trust. I'm out.